That last batch of people coming up were the owners and extended family from outing out and then onto the track. She is 10 minutes away. Let's have a look at the market. Well, there's not much point showing you this, is there? The tote's got it $1.10 and $1.04. Tats is still
It's 106 on the track for Black Caviar. She's at $1.10 on the tote. It's the shortest price favourite we've seen since we've been cupping races here on TVN, Brucey.
Oh, absolutely. Runner's not in the yard, doesn't need one. And let's have a look at her. As she comes in the yard, she's got the head down and she's just doing what she wants to do.
Yeah, look, she remains in that there when she started this great ride, 6107, 110, whatever. They're just here to watch her and cheer her. Let's go, Black Caviar. Do it for us. One last look at the tote. She's $1.10 there. That's about
This is it. Away they go. And Black Caviar jumped as well as she usually does. Karuta Queen was away very fast, and Platinum Sky drives up, and they go together, leading a length and a half, Morgan Dollar. And Black Caviar settled a length away in fourth within 3.5 of the leader. Sterling Grove on the inside, and they're followed then by Tassos. Cool Grinders trying to get onto her stablemate. And Rara Kane last the inside. Karuta Queen nears the 500 by a length and a half. Black Caviar's moving into second on the outside of Platinum Sky. Then Cool Grinder, Morgan Dollar. 2 lengths further back is Sterling Grove, Tassos. Rara Kane is last. And Black Caviar's moved to the lead coming around the home turn ahead of Karuta Queen. Cool Grinder's trying to run on down the outside, and then Morgan Dollar and Platinum Sky down on the inside. But it is all about Black Caviar. She went past the 200, lengthening by 4 lengths. Away she goes. What a champion, 14 straight, and she's up there with the greatest ever. Black Caviar won it by 4.5. Second, Karuta Queen, Sterling Grove third. And then came Platinum Sky and Morgan Dollar. Cool Grinder couldn't go on. Rara Kane, Tassos at the end. Isn't it just wonderful to watch?
Absolutely, Greg. Words don't need to describe that performance. Hunters cheering here on track and clapping and applauding a fantastic equine and sporting performance in the most effortless ways. Only the champions make things like that look so easy. She comes back to deliver what she did when she went out. 14 and straight, 56.73. Easy work for Black.
It's been a build-up like no other, and it's just great to have her back on track and doing what she does best.
But you knew she was going to do that, surely.
Oh, listen, yeah, you just always fear that something can go wrong,
But show us the dollar coin, Pete, and the story behind the lucky $1 coin that you use.
We'd carry that in my pocket every time. The owner would bring it to the races for me, and we look after it each time. So, it served us well. So, listen, just pure relief to have her back in great shape.
Want to run second. There'll be a race for Sterling Grove probably over the carnival.
And back, Luke, and it looked as easy as ever.
Yeah, it was. Look, she travelled well. From control of the race a long way from home, but look, she's not a rip and tear going thing anyway. But she travelled right up to Karuta Queen on straight, and she just looked to wobble a bit. So I just wanted to be around her to help her around it. So she was going to push me out, and she canted to the front. I give her a shake up. She's here for a go up too. So that there was nice improvement in her, and hopefully, onward and upward to the next one. Side of that, she's got a.
This is at Caulfield on Guineas Day yesterday, but the the show without any doubt was a Black Caviar. She dragged 32,000 fans through the gates, almost a Caulfield Guineas record. Will have to be in modern times, and she didn't let them down, going for 14 straight. She dominated all the news throughout the week.
Down the outside, and then Morgan Dollar and Platinum Sky down on the inside. It is all about Black Caviar. She went past the 200, lengthening by 4 lengths. Away she goes. What a champion. 14 straight, and she's up there with the greatest ever. Black Caviar won it by 4.5. Second, Karuta Queen, Sterling Grove third. And then came Platinum Sky and Morgan Dollar. Cool Grinder couldn't go on.
Still great to watch. Look at the happy people. Why wouldn't you be happy if you own Black Caviar or knew someone who owned Black Caviar? We'll get to them shortly because they're as much a part of this. And there's Luke pulling up here. $1.20 Maxitive, please. Again, she was slow out, Luke. Again, Peter Mooney rolled a little gold dollar coin in his hands. And again, she won the bonus stand there. I've never seen people sitting up, but that was packed. And under the old tote board at the end. Never seen anyone watch a race from there. She runs.
And I suppose those superior athletes, they all look like they're doing it in slow motion. And Usain Bolt the same as this me, and I just love her attitude. Look, she doesn't have a care in her work.
Just favourite in a group race here in Australia in 40 years, starting at odds of $1.07. She delivered.
Well, she certainly did deliver, and she was expected to deliver. She just bounced straight into the bid in what looked a very fast field. and never in doubt. She's just an absolute champion. What can you say? What can you say about her? Look, you don't beat specialist 1,000-metre horses by 5 and 6 lengths. It's nearly impossible to put a margin in such a short journey, but she does it, and she does it consistently. And by gee, she has got that new string to need for that yet. Fantastic. Look at that. That's just poetry in motion.
Peruta Queen must have thought, what on earth is this breathing down my neck
Oh,
as they
yeah.
came to turn?
Look,
That's what it's done for racing. Yesterday we saw young toddlers, wearing the black caviar colours. The crowd that got behind her yesterday was quite extraordinary. They erected a special pavilion, Simon, to watch black caviar from.
Yeah, look, there's no doubt about that, Joe. I mean, it was just unbelievable scenes to see 32,000 there. And after 120, a large group of
in racing it and go back to the heady days of octagonal, if you like, Sunline. Those sort of horses, you can have all your marketing whiz kids and you can have incentives and gimmicks. If you have a champion horse go to the races, people come and watch. That's the key ingredient, no matter what. So you can have your fence, you can have massage.
It's now won 14 from 14, has equal far lap. Look, everyone concerned with the horse, they don't want to compare either, black caviar to far lap because there's 70 years, 80 years between the two. They just want us as racing followers and non-racing followers to enjoy the ride.
He's pitching
The preferred option at this stage.
We'll tell you how good she is. Yeah, we're used to over the Derby Day week and the Melbourne Cup that the racing hits the front page of the papers, but they say in all Sunday editions of the papers today in Melbourne, she's on the front page. So that speaks for itself. So early in the spring, a mare like her finding her way on the front page of every Sunday paper in Melbourne.
One thing that is occurring that Pearl's really building up here. Siobhan's going to be hard to beat, but more on that shortly. More on that shortly. The Sporting Herbert Power Stakes first.
Now, as we go, just have a quick late look.
Let's go to Greg for the action.
7:30 Lucky 88, 10:60 Macedonian, 12:20 Anujuan, Tanby at 5.90 the favourite Siobhan. Now at 3.70 and 1.80. And Siobhan out just fairly. My Scots Grey didn't jump well. They wanted to be on the pace, so that's out the window early. Lopov Tanby began fast. Moyen Kunish is taking a trail just behind them and he's grabbed hold of Saptapati going right back. Two for T's going forward with Lucky 88 and Lopov, and they're the three leaders down to the judge. Two for T, carving over, found the lead. Lopov to second, Lucky 88 a little deeper third, and Tanby not far away with Siobhan a lot handier today down on the inside. Midnight Martini deep leaving the rise at the back of the course now, and Two for T is the leader running to the 1,000 metres by a half length to Lopov. Then followed a length and a half away, Lucky 88. Midnight Martini had made her way up into fourth spot. 2 lengths away, Siobhan and Tanby still together with Tanby the outside. They're followed by a nudge and Prussian Officer. A length and a half to Saptapati, 7 lengths off the leader, 800 left to go. Then exceptionally, Moyen Kunish, who's held up for a run on the inside, and then came Bauer Macedonian, My Scots Grey, and Master O'Reilly 2 lengths away. Two for T at the 600 lead narrative from Lopov, a length away, Midnight Martini, Lucky 88. Tanby creeping closer, Siobhan still on his back, and then Prussian Officer and Nudjuan and Saptapati heads the rest from Moyen Kunish, and Bauer making some ground on the outside. On the turn and Lopov tackled by Midnight Martini, and Tanby very quickly joins in. Here's Siobhan 2 lengths away, winding up now. Tanby from Midnight Martini at the 200. Siobhan's under the whip a length further back, and not much else making ground. Tanby narrowly from Midnight Martini and Siobhan. Tanby in front, Siobhan's coming at him hard now. Siobhan raced up, grabbed the lead on the line, and Siobhan by a head to Tanby. Moyen Kunish came home strongly, an eye-catching third from Midnight Martini. Bauer worked home okay, and then Anujuan and Macedonian, followed by Lucky 88. Further back,
Runners bang on here and get it right with Siobhan, who worries out Tanby. 2 gun rides, Simons, and the last preparation he showed him.
Kunish came home strongly, an eye-catching.
Well, we'll get a penalty for the Melbourne Cup, not heading Caulfield Cup. Siobhan nor Tanby, they both ran well. Liked Moyen Cornish's run, heading towards the Melbourne Cup, but it's going to struggle to get there. You rode Saptapati in the race for Brian Ellison, who's a terrific bloke and a good trainer. I thought it ran well.
Yeah, it ran well. Had an ordinary run in the race. I was sort of elected to go back and then sort of strode forward to be in front of the horse that Stevie Bast was riding to get a bit of
Well, I don't know. He's a progressive sort of a stayer. It's hard to line this bunch up. They're obviously the horse is trying to qualify for the Melbourne Cup. And look, the second horse there, Moyen Corniche, or the third horse, he looked pretty good. He's an E-ball winner. He's strong. But I'm not so. Simon, you're up to date with these stayers. What do you make of them? You had a couple in the race.
Well, I agree with you. I think they're progressive, Siwan and Tanby. If they don't get where they want to be this spring, I think they'll have good autumns in Sydney, and if they're still on their feet, an opportunity of next year's spring. The horse of Brian Ellison's, Moyen Corniche, I thought was really good as well. Good, strong, staying effort. Whether any of those horses have got the brilliance around Caulfield in the Caulfield Cup, I do wonder.
Snap the party, I think, will get in the field, particularly all the top end races of the Spring Carnival. Headed off here by Lion Tamer. There's number 2, Descarado, who, well, there's the totes. Let's get back to them there. There's Descarado. Shane worked on Tuesday morning with Lion.
Descarado's his favourite, Lion Tamer.
Okay, Lion Tamer.
Against his favourite, Lion Tamer.
Okay, Lion Tamer off the Cox Plate after this. Look at the crowd still over there. They're the black caviar. They're the black caviar rim.
Set with Playing God. Alco Pop runner up to So You Think last year is ready. The Caulfield Cup winner Descarado lined in. RV Ennis is set. Lion Tamer getting a fair start. Lights of Heaven slow to move from the outside stall, and Darby Innes, and also away quickly Playing God on the outside, and they're being headed by Mighty High in the middle. And Descarado's going on in the early part here and running to the front. So as they settle fully by the 1600, Descarado takes it up from Mighty High, leads him by a length. And Lights of Heaven improves quickly and gets up on the speed now, second and third the outside. Playing Got a length away from near the 1200 metres. And Descarado is the leader, a length and a half. Lights of Heaven up on the speed in second placing. Mighty High a length away third. Playing God 3/4 away fourth. One further back is Arva Innes. A length Sincero. Sahara Sun on the rails. 1.5 to Elco Pop. And a length and a half to the favourite Lion Tamer. Last 10 off the leader. 1,000 to go. Descarado heading to the railway side. A length in front. Lights of Heaven second. Mighty High enjoying a good run third. Playing God a half length fourth. 2 lengths to Arva Innes, maybe 3 lengths, and then Sincero. 2 lengths Sahara Sun as they go by the 800 metres, and then Alco Pop with Lion Tamer peeling out to start his move now. Descarado still had the lead running down the side, a length and a half. Running second is Lights of Heaven. Third is Mighty High. Playing God the outside. Lion Tamer creeping his way around the field. Alco Pop goes with him. Then Arva Innes. Sincero's off the bit. And last Sahara Sun. Descarado the leader. 400 to go, a length and a half. Lights of Heaven. Playing God. Lion Tamer peeling out the widest as they swing around the turn, and then Alco Pop. RB Ennis has peeled for a run and starting to come home, but Descarado, 300 to go by 2 lengths to Playing God, Lights of Heaven. RB Ennis is coming home well on the outside, no Mighty High. And no Lion Tamer either. Descarado the leader. RV Ennis is gradually wearing him down. Descarado hanging on. Descarado clinging to the lead and all the way Descarado. He's back in form leading RV Ennis. Lights of Heaven a length and a half third. And close up behind them, Sincero, Playing God and Mighty High in a line. And further back, Sahara Sun, Lion Tamer. Gee, wasn't he disappointing in the end of it? And so too Alco Pop. He's run a distant last in it.
Some big turnarounds in markets coming up here for the Caulfield Cup and Cox Plate with plain performances by Lion Tamer, who got back last and was never going to win. And a big turnaround in form for Descarado. Well done to Gay Waterhouse, last year's Caulfield Cup winner, back on song big time now for the Cox Plate. Just driving.
Very, very positive from the outset. Here's Gay Waterhouse with Bruce.
Outstanding Gay, back in form. Descarado back at Caulfield. That was brilliant.
Was brilliant. Brilliant ride by Nash and brilliant by the horse. And I felt he was right on track again. He worked with Lion Tamer. Wasn't funny like.
Well, I thought you'd be riding My Kingdom of Fife in a Cox Plate. A funny old game racing, and now Descarado's back on song.
Yeah, well, we needed him to step up today. He's done a terrific job. Full credit to the staff. And Gay to sort of know when to back off him and then throw the sword back at him, so to speak, to get him fit. But you know, they just been told during the week he worked well, and that was good enough for me because he just.
And close up behind them.
Well, stunning form reversal by Descarado. That's the magic of Gay and Caulfield for Descarado. Now onto the Cox Plate. Some pressure up there with helmet going along. Heavy Ennis back on track. Lights of Heaven. Back up next week in the Caulfield Cup. If anyone knows at this stage, 2 big flops. Lion Tamer. Blinkers will go back on. Alco Pop out of the Caulfield Cup and the Cox Plate now. Perhaps the McKinnons may have a respiratory infection. But you've got to give full credit to Gay, no doubt, to get this horse work with Lion Tamer Tuesday morning. Well, a big difference comes Saturday.
Straight to the front, and look, it was a race of little change, wasn't it? Most of them held their spots all the way around. Venus probably the pick of those based on that information, finished the race off well. Of course, ran okay in a Cox Plate last year. I'm forgiving Lion Tamer. He took off at the 800, 3 and 4 wide in a non-pace race. And Alco Pop, who's may have put up with a little infection, Rich.
Well, Lion Tamer Way news this morning, Midas Touch at first sight aren't going there for Lord Williams. He might have a runner. Green Moon might sneak in. Shamrock is going to the Cox Plate. So
what a race the Cox Plate's building to be.
Lytton's out. Well, maybe, apparently, said Lloyd this morning. Melbourne Cup markets after yesterday. How short is December draw for the Caulfield Cup? And there you go, $2.60. And then that's
too short.
Well, take out 2 and 3. They're not running. Midas Touching at first sight, not running. Lucas Cranich will tighten up. Absolutely ticking over. Glass Harmonium, take it out, not running. Mighty High, shot. Precedence going okay. Lights of Heaven, not sure. Shamrock, take it out. Alco Pop out. Green Moon, if it gets in. Borderline at the moment. Drunken Sailor runs there. That's how the Caulfield Cup market could end up being. It was not qualified yet for a Melbourne Cup start, but this is how the sporting bet market reads for the Cup. There it is, Internationals top of the draw here. Lucas Cranich and Americana running the Mooney Valley Cup. December draw for gets it.
Between now and then, a lot of water to pass under the bridge, but it's going to be interesting.
Go back to the scene of his biggest career win, the Caulfield Cup last year, led and pinched the Caulfield Stakes. But Richard, Lion Tamer with the blinkers off, the switch was off.
He went like a hobbled duck, Lion Tamer. He went awfully, but I'm sure they'll be scratching their head over him. But I'll talk about the winner. There's a horse that absolutely loves Caulfield. He produces his best performances at that track. Now, interestingly, Nash was able to give the horse a mid-race rest. They've run about 2.5, which is not overly flash time for 2000 at Caulfield. And he was able to get them off the bit. And I have to say, I'm pretty disappointed in some of those horses that weren't able to even get to him because they ran. What did they run their last 600 in, Ronnie?
Oh, about 35.5.
Which is not flash.
No, it's not. But this bloke, Rawilla, he is the best front running jockey I've seen in ever. Once he gets to the front, he goes quick enough to be left alone. And then he quickens at the right time, a little bit earlier than normal jockeys. And he just doesn't give other horses a chance to eyeball him. He's a great front-running jockey, and
But I'll be scratching my head about everything in that race outside the winner.
Now the Group 1s of the day coming up. The David Jones Toorak Handicap. Spoke to Murray for your disappointment there, and just confirming to Luke. The racing review tomorrow. El Nolan, who rides the favourite for the Toorak Handicap, King's Rose. She is
a nice bit of value to make it 2 straight for that set of colours for Gay Waterhouse.
Bet on Torio's Quest to win 360,000 at $9. Torio's was out to short.
Deep race this year, the 2011 Toorak Handicap, and to call the action, let's go up to Greg Mills.
980 King Mufasa, 680 Toorak Top, but a lot longer on course. $4.70 the favourite King's Rose, and she's now racing. King's Rose got a beautiful start on the inside, and Toorak Toff jumped out of the gates well. Lord Pyrrhus going on, coming over fast, clip towards the leaders, and he brings King Mufasa with him, so there's a bit of speed about on the early part now, and they race to the top of the track, and Fast Clip on the outside, and Lord Pyrrhus here the front. King Mufasa settling third, and Toorak Toff locked into a beautiful spot fourth, and King's Rose a length away fifth. Lengths away inside the 1,000 metres, and Fast Clip at a Fast Clip led by 3/4 of a length. King Mufasa running second. Lord Pyrrhus 2 lengths away. Toorak Top a half fourth the outside, then a length and a half to King's Rose and Wall Street together at the 800 metres. A length and a half Torio's Quest being followed by Lunyat Forever. Further length and a half Wirram the inside of Dream Away, and then Yosei and Majestic Music, and a length and a half to Dow Dow at the 600 metres. Fast Clip narrowly from King Mufasa. Toorak Top 1.5 away, followed Lord Pyrrhus, Wall Street. King's Rose trying to find a way clear from Lunyat Forever, Dream Away, Torio's Quest, Majestic Music, Wirram, Dow Dow and Yosei. On the corner now, King Mufasa raced up to Fast Clip. Toorak Top comes on, King's Rose in the clear. Wall Street finishing off down the outside. King Mufasa Faster at the 200 metres. Leads with King's Rose coming home well. Wall Street and Lunyet Forever the outside. King Mufasa in front. King's Rose and here's Lunyet Forever. King Mufasa the leader. He's hanging on near the line. King Mufasa, the king from New Zealand, shines in Melbourne at last, beating King's Rose and Lunyet Forever. Just behind them, Wall Street. Yosei got home. Purim, Dowdell, Majestic Music, and then Direct Off Fast Clip just ahead of him. Lord Pyrus with
Faster, one of New Zealand's best. He hasn't been able to produce it in Australia in the past, but an aggressive ride by Michael Rod, a great stamina by King Mufasa, or Mufasa, as he is back home in New sustained show of mile speed.
And maybe now Jimmy Chu will actually shorten for the Cox Plate because King Mufasa, who's been a wonder sprinter miler in New Zealand for a couple.
Yeah, I think we were pretty grateful to see the post come. Mate, he ran along at a great clip outside of Fast Clip. And
Will move faster as he's known back home to become a king in Australia by winning the Group 1 Touareg Handicap, which franks the form of Jimmy Chu for a Cox Plate with Wall Street. Slow out first half and home in a dashing 46 and a 7. So, honest end, he made the speed and kept going.
Sure, look, he didn't. They didn't go hard. 49.5 was the first 800, but he did have company up there and shot away and held off King's Rose, who was coming off the hottest form race on the planet. She did a terrific job. Maybe that much between runs hurt her. And Lewin Yet Forever, who came the widest, was probably as good as any run in the race. Little got back to fourth, which was Wall Street, who just didn't quite finish off the race, Bruce. And that have him covered. But
for many seasons, he won more Group 1s there than you can poke a stick at. Finally broke his Group 1 duck here in Australia yesterday.
He's an outstanding racehorse, an outstanding racehorse. He's got $2 million in the bank now. He's got a terrific racing style. He's a trier. You just can't knock him. The way he travels off a hot speed and dashes, and he's formed this preparation. And as you said earlier, Richard, he has that Jimmy Chu form, which is definitely franked here. The stablemates, the Moody stablemates, King's Rose just had a little setback. She was a month between runs coming into this race, and she was scratched out of the Epsom last week. That's probably just gone against her late here, finishing the race off. Lewin Yet Forever, who was fantastic, just needs a win. He just needs a confidence-building win because he loomed up to win there, and he didn't know how to do it. He's forgot how to win. Other than that, there was a few disappointing runners in the race, but I thought Dowdell was pretty good. He's a terrific old horse who's just had no luck from wide barriers.
King Mufasa's been a bit like the All Blacks.
Maybe that King Mufasa was well in yesterday. He's now won 7 Group 1s, large majority obviously back in New Zealand, but he was on equal weights with Turak Toff, who's only won the 2 Group 1s. That was some concern even before the race, and King Mufasa showed he's right up to it. He's going to go back home now. They're a bit unsure whether they go
to Caulfield, Richie, building up towards the Group 1 age. Caulfield Guineas, the 3 Sydney Star, Colton Gelding's a man. The Gelding, of course, ready to do battle.
was never going to be right until he got down to Melbourne. Manawanui's, look, it's probably being harsh on him saying that he's below them, and although he's won the Group 1 Golden Rose, I just think the others have got to make a mistake or...
Manawanui. You're just going to say to someone, now, I've won the last 5. I reckon I beat Smart Missile, and in the same race behind him, Helmet. Yep, no, that was me. I did that. What's he done wrong? He's $6.50. And he is looking absolutely smashing. Jumped a few hurdles yesterday, Helmet, to keep his mind ticking over. The Succeed and Excel Cult and Sile. If he produces his best, I agree with you, Rich. I know Shane's in the Helmet camp. The best of Smart Missile would be good enough. But
Price you might get. He opened up $5. He's out to $6.50. $6.50. Okay, now Helmet opened at $2.25. They've taken that. He's into $2.15. Smart Missile out to $3.60 to $11. Favourite, clear cut, Bruce, best back, Sporting Bet market mover, the 2.
Good stuff. Helmet market mover here. And keep repeating, love those big ones. Age, Caulfield Guineas, terrific lineup. Here's Greg.
And coming. They're racing now. Smart Missile jumped out of the stalls well. So did Helmet, and he's being booted forward. Secret Hills got away quickly, and Manawanui was away very fast. After 200 metres, and Manawanui has the lead. Helmet drives on, caught 3 wide. Secret Hills eases back, gets in third now as Helmet sits outside of Manawanui, and they tear away up the hill. It's Helmet going on. He's really burning off, and he goes to the front now by a length and a half. They've run it very solidly early. Helmet by 3 lengths finally from Manawanui, 3 Secret Hills. Hills. One away then, Smart Missile. 2 or 3 further back is Hugel. They're followed then by well back on the inside as General Offer, followed by Spectre. And at the end of the field is Chase the Rainbow. So Helmet the leader at the 800 metres. Can he do it both ends? He's out by 3 lengths to Manawanui. 2.5 lengths away, Secret Hills on the inside of Smart Missile. 2 to Hugel, followed by Spectre. And then General Offer, who's been passed by Chase the Rainbow. 600 left to go. Helmet by 1.5. Manawanui stalking everywhere. 2 lengths away then, Secret Hills on the inside of Smart Missile, poised for his run. 2 to Hugel, and then came Spectre and Chase the Rainbow. They're on the swing in the Guineas now. Helmet the leader. Manawanui throws out the challenge. Smart Missile under the whip, 2 lengths away. Further back is Hugel. Nothing else making ground. Helmet the leader from Manawanui. And they're clear then from Smart Missile and Hugel. Helmet down on the inside, just the leader. He's kicking strongly. Manawanui trying his heart out. Helmet in front. Manawanui's getting there. Helmet by a nose. Manawanui's diving. They hit the line. Helmet! Helmet, what a great Guineas win. He's won it from Manawanui. 4 lengths away, third Hugel from Spectre. Smart Missile. Secret Hills, and then came Chase the Rainbow, and a distant last in the race, General Offer.
Again, it was a brilliant Guineas, and again, it was a brilliant performance. Helmet stalling off Manawanui in a thrilling drive to the wire here in sustained speed from start to finish. There was nothing left out in the track there. The best colt on the day wins it, and now Helmet en route perhaps to a Cox Plate. That was brilliant. Manawanui made it a brave race. Hugel runs on for...
He's done it from start to finish. Last time we saw him here, he ran lengths and lengths faster than the Rupert Clark. Today he's run lengths faster than the Toorak. He's done it all the way. Manawanui had his chance, and Sammy, whichever way you look at that race, the winner deserves everything he gets.
Yeah, that was an outstanding
Win. Daring ride. The amount of improvement this horse has done over the last month is unbelievable.
Did you sanction those tactics, or did you leave Kevin to work it out himself?
Well, I said, be brave, mate. You're on the best horse. This is a good horse in the race. Be conservative, but the last half mile, just see what they made out of her, and that's what we did.
Watching it, what did you think?
My heart was about here, and then here. And then when he won, it was just, that was fantastic. The best feeling, just really, really good.
You've done a lot of work on him.
Is that? We'll find out.
The Cox Plate's still there for him. I suppose you've got to see what's left in the tank, but at the moment, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, look, Bruce, my thoughts, he should be there, but I've got to talk to my team. That's
Born and Ronnie Lehman, he just withdrew more for the moment, but a great man, Ronnie Lehman. Ronnie, you must be absolutely wrapped with your horse, Manawanui.
Absolutely wrapped, mate. He tried his heart out. Unfortunately, been a better one on the day, and we just couldn't run him down.
No, look,
brave. You're bloody brave, Gareth.
Yeah, he's a right sort of horse to be brave on, you know. And I suppose I have been there when he's ducked out and whatever, nearly had me off. But no, full credit to everyone. Pete's been pulling his hair out a little bit, obviously when he's doing all those things wrong. But it's just good to see a horse with great ability match up in a Guineas like this. And it was an enthralling race. I was worried Manawanui was going to get me, but my fellow was good.
Was good. It's the fastest Guineas ever. It's faster than Helena's. It's the fastest on record, and it was all down to him.
Yeah, that's right. He did the hard work, and I could hear Manawanui coming. So, he's a hard horse to hold off, as we've seen in his form. And
I love the win of Helmet doing his best impersonation of Might and Power. So, looking forward to getting into the action.
A great contest to be part of, and you came out on top. There's no excuses behind you, were there?
No, that's right. It was a great battle, and yeah, we planned it to make it into a bit of a battle, and for my sake, our boy came out on top.
Yeah, listen, I know you look like Glenn.
The leader from Manawanui, just the leader. He's kicking strongly. Manawanui trying his heart out. Helmet in front. Manawanui's getting there. Helmet by a nose. Manawanui's diving. They hit the line. Helmet! Helmet, what a great Guineas win. He's won it from Manawanui. 4 lengths away, third Hugel.
Fastest Guineas ever on dead for always a great race to Caulfield Guineas, and again yesterday it was a beauty, and the best colt came out on top of a very good.
There's some perspective here. If the race was run alongside the Toorak, you would have led them by 9 lengths. You would have led King faster by about 9 lengths, Kieran. But
sure would have won.
Would have won. It's measuring up beautifully this form, and ran 6 lengths faster overall. This horse, how many times can he go to the well? He's had 2 hard runs now. I know he's a big, strong horse, but has he got another couple of runs in, especially looking at a Cox Plate?
Yeah, I suppose that's the question, but I'm sure Peter and the team will decide on how he's pulled up and progressing. And I spoke to Peter on the way here, said he's eaten up last night, which is a different race, so we're going to have to construct a different sort of plan. But if he gets around Mooney Valley with 49.5, he's got to be hard to beat, definitely.
It was a good performance, you know. Both of them, they've cleared out from the rest. But gee, I thought I had him 300 out, 200 out, 100 out. Fair play to the winner, he just wouldn't let me past. Yeah, competing against the best up-and-coming horses in the land there, and I thought he performed well. Probably coming
Jumps plate markets yesterday, first with Desperado winning and then Helmet coming out and doing that. And this is how it's ended up at Sporting Bet for the Cox plate with Helmet $3.70 favourite. Jimmy Chu, Form Frank without running there at $4.20. Lion Tamer blinkers on. Rekindle interest there, 12. Glass Harmonium, 99% shorter run. Desperado ditto. Secret.
Michael's one of the best operators, and they'll sort out at Mooney Valley. It's going to be a great Cox plate. There's no doubt about that. Yeah, what's your top two at the moment, Cox plate?
Helmet, Jimmy Shoe. I'm happy with the way, but I'm a Secret Morafan. She's in my doubles in there as well. So
yeah, right from the outset of the race and a wonderful finish.
Not just speed, it was stamina. It was signs of reduced choice and set Testarossa singling out and fighting out the Guineas years ago. But boy, oh boy, that race, the way it unfolded, you know, you changed your mind 6 or 7 times in the run who was going to win that race. Norman did the work to get across Manawanui, and then all of a sudden we spotted Smart Missile bolting in 4th spot, just minding his own business. Then they dropped him. Then Manawanui loomed up to Helmet, and he had him cold, and Helmet caught him out the corner of his eye and lifted. It was a fantastic race, Richard.
It was, because if you're watching here, this is where Helmet does most of the work. Now, that's up the hill at Caulfield. That is suicide tactics normally. If you ride a horse up the hill, they like that. The ones you pass on the way up pass you on the way down. But he just kept going. That was phenomenal. I thought he had to get tired in the straight. And when Manawanui went to him, I thought, well, fair enough, Helmet's run a fantastic race, but he's going to get beaten here. But he kept going. It's brilliant. I think he's a better horse in Melbourne than he is in Sydney.
Well, I know he's set the tempo.
It's been running of late. I know Kieran said before that, you know, the horse will be ridden differently. As you look at that market, we can tell you that...
this is Lucas Cranach. Now, this is his run 2 runs ago. Now, this is a his last slowly run race. Brilliant performance. You know he's got talent. He came out after this and ran so well behind a horse who won the Arc by a widening margin. Love the way he attacks the line here. Good style about him. How he measures up crossing the equator, the different things.
Through those horses he's going past.
Second horse is Group 1 performer. Don't know about the form here, Shane. Don't query this. Runner-up is Group 1 performer, multiple Group 2 winner. Durban Thunder, that horse is, and he's put a gap on him from last.
I like the way he got to the line. There's no doubt about that.
Well, you take a line through Danedrum, who then won the Arc by the same margin he was.
Yeah, there's a fair few early bets on that for the Cups double. Yeah, so once the horse was spruiked and Freddie went off to overseas to start training it, you know, the word got around in the industry, if you like.
The query is the foot abscess, Bruce.
I'm thinking of, have we found out about this Lucas Cranach? Is he running in the Caulfield Cup? You still don't know.
Ask Steve, he knows.
Arc de Triomphe, one of the world's most prestigious horse races. And Shamie Heffernan has been confirmed as the rider for the horse. He's drawn in barrier of 14. Only 2 winners in the past 8 years have drawn wider than 8.
Hope he wins it.
Yeah, look.
I really do. But it'll only mean that more of our top Australian horses end up in
Qatar Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe here at Longchamp in Paris on a gloriously sunny day, the hottest Arc day any of us can remember. Course records being broken. Superb race. Cast our eye. You think, how good is this Australian import? Well, very good is the answer. But will he prove himself to Europe and the globe as exceptional in the Handinter context?
In the race, the Australasian champion, So You Think. He opened up at 8 points on the PMU here. Number 6 opened up at 14. He's been backed into 8.6. Very well supported here in France. So you go. They get away to a fairly decent break. A huge rout from the crowd. Galikova, Silver Pond and Nakayama Festa dropped at the back of the field. As early on, Treasure Beach with a white cap leads to Shredder in second place. Testosterone is prominent from St. Nicholas Abbey. Reliable Man in white and blue, and then Masked Marvel, a black jacket, yellow cap going through from Dane Dream. Behind this, Aruna de Moore. Sarafina is last, but
2 at the moment, and So You Think Snow Fairy and Wither at the back of the field. Workforce is towards the side of this. Nakayama Festa and Workforce at next. So You Think is still towards the back of the field with Nakayama Festa. Silver Pond is the only one behind those. They're into the full straight of Treasure Beach just narrowly to stablemate St Nicholas Abbey. Charetta with a noseband on the outside. These three in line, and now St Nicholas Abbey is coming through to join Treasure Beach and go past him. Testosterone in third. Hirona Demore is in fourth place. Daydream behind this. Seraphine is still towards the back of the field. They're into the home straight now. And it's St Nicholas Abbey leading to Charetta in second position. Hirona Demore behind this. Daydream is next. Meandra trying to pick up as they head down to the closing stages now. And here up on the outside is Daydream to throw down the challenge. And in the orange jacket, Daydream has quickened up in tremendous style to go through now. Charetta in second, St Nicholas Abbey, Snowflare coming from the back of the field. Andrea Stark is celebrating already. Daydream has won by many lengths. A fantastic performance. Daydream, the German filly, has come through to really win this race in tremendous style. There's many, many disappointing horses in this as they come across the line. Reliable Man and Masked Marvel were the last two to get home. It's a very tight thing for second place as well. But it's been, 36 years since a German train winner of this race. And it is Daydream, number 15. This German train filly who's come through to win this. She is the winner of the Arc.
I don't know what to think of it. But look, hard race to assess. I'm still scratching my head about it, to tell you the truth. He was good. In saying that, he was pretty good, so you think.
Andrew, can I ask you what the...
On course about Atlantic Jewel, $2 the totes at the moment. We'll see what plays out there, but she's the focus of attention. Atlantic Jewel. Money coming, though, for Mosheen. 480 matches up pretty well at the moment, Mosheen. Let's go to the mounting yard for Coolmore, Australia. And Coolmore in this race, but she looks magnificent. And the word that she's improved from the stable is reflected in the fact in the way she parades today. She looks fantastic.
Well, if you tell some of the old timers that the favourite in the 1,000, Cute Emily, Disputes had started 175 into 170. It's actually gone back out to 175. And then there's no interest in anything underwards. So the monster bets and the liability are with her, Bruce. So she's our sporting bet market mover, number 8, Atlantic Jewel.
And she's glittering herself out there, whether she comes back.
Going into the gates, we're like in the flight stakes, trap wide there. Atlantic Jewel got a reasonable jump away and then just eases back soon after. Cute Emily the first out, Mosheen away brilliantly and very quickly gets up into second placing. Celebrity Girl third on the inside and Disputes. Right up there, fourth on the outside. A length further back, Shani Rose. They're running pretty solidly here. About 2 lengths to Kneeling, followed by Reveal Worse in midfield. Hallowell Bell well off the speed, and 2 lengths behind them then is Atlantic Jewel. She's third last, being followed then by Bliss Street back second last and Crucial on the outside. 15 lengths at least cover them, 1,000 metres to go. Cute Emily the leader, 3/4 clear. Disputes a second, 2 lengths Mosheen outside Celebrity Girl. 3 or 4 further back in the field, then Shani Rose, 2 lengths to Kneeling, and then Ravel. 1 further back, Hallowell Bell. Atlantic Jewel peeling out wide down the side, and then came Crucial trying to get onto the back of the favourite, and Bliss Street is last. Cute Emily has the lead, 600 left to go in the 1,000 guineas. A length and a half clear. Disputes a second, Celebrity Girl third with Mosheen. Atlantic Jewel's crept up to be fifth, and Shani Rose is trying to go with her, and then came Crucial and Hallowell Bell as they swing around the turn. 400 left to go, and Mosheen raced up to Cute Emily, but Atlantic Jewel is there in the twinkling of an eye at the home turn. Into the straight now, and Mosheen with Atlantic Jewel, the two favourites, pair down and race 3 lengths clear from Shani Rose and Hallowell Bell finishing off down the outside. But it looks like a taught Atlantic Jewel. She left Mosheen behind. She sprints away. She opens up. It's a devastating, brilliant win. Atlantic Jewel by 3 lengths Mosheen, 2 lengths to Shani Rose, Hallowell Bell 4, and then Disputes and Ravel, followed by Kneeling, Celebrity Girl, Bliss Street, Cute Emily, and Crucial is last. She's outstanding.
Well, she's a superstar. It's like watching a movie, like watching one of those things that they set up for for a movie where she just went past Hallowell Bell about the 800-metre mark there as Rod poses for the photo. And just won that race between the 800 and the 600. And then before you looked at it, she had the race put away. Astonishing performance in 135.86. Brilliant.
or bring on colts or older horses. She's established today that she is just way too good for the fillies. Here's Cav with Bruce.
And see what she did to a quality field. These don't come along very often. Can you get the lid off for a little bit? Yeah, well, she can do many things that I haven't seen horses do before. You were pretty outward saying that she'd improved from last start to this, and I think beneath all of this, you expected something special, and you got it. She can do things that I haven't seen horses do before.
What could she do?
I don't know. Well, I suppose we'll wait and see. I'll discuss it with the owners and see where we go.
You've said you don't want to run on a Cox Plate or pay a late entry fee for that. Does watching that sway you in any possible way?
No. She's a good filly. We don't want to gut her. I'll discuss the matter with the owners later, but probably recommend she goes to the paddock.
Yeah, that'd be your preference to go to the paddock?
Yeah, I think so. Look, she's something else, and I think we probably should give her a chance to get there.
Just watching the race there, but saw a big gleaming smile from Michael Rod as you pose for the photo. You don't do that in Group 1 races. You don't get a chance, do you?
Bruce, she's just, she's freakish, you know. Obviously, you got to take you out off the cab and the stable. You know, they just get him to peak at the right time. But she came out of the barriers really well, and I just let a few of them go from the outside. I just wanted to make sure I was, no matter where I was, that I was wide, at least one off with one on the inside. And the pace was on pretty, it was very solid. And I just waited until we got around the back there for the half mile, and I just wanted to put her in contention. You got to ride these sorts of horses arrogantly, and I saw there's a couple of spots up the front there, so I just let her slide up, and I was able to get over one off the fence behind Machine, and I just put the brakes on then and thought, I'm pretty confident the race is over. I was able to track Machine up, and when I gave her a head and let her out, she was sort of going 2 to Machine's 1, and she just pulled right away from her.
Amazing. I mean, to me, it was like watching a movie. It's quite surreal that you were just in a different zone to your opposition.
I heard Peter Moody say about with Black Caviar that she comes around this tourney that fast, you think she's going to slip over, her legs are going to fall off, and she does this at track work. We run her up the last 2 with a mate, and she'll blow the mate away, but when I let her head go and give her a real squeeze, she just goes that quick. You think she's going to do some sort of injury. You've really got to sort of let them go through their gears.
She was brilliant today, but we haven't seen the best of her.
Yes, I mean, if she was ridden properly and, ridden a patient race, then you probably see the best of her, but she's just that good. You don't want to risk anything with her, and you can ride her nice and arrogantly.
Exciting stuff. Great stuff, Michael. Well done.
Thanks, Bruce.
Well, the obvious question was, would you run her in the Cox Plate? I mean, the obvious temptation is to say yes.
Well, grading figures say she's not far off Helmet, and then Helmet's running around in it, but it can gut him. And
favourite.
And Samantha, and favourite.
Well, I think Samantha Miss was a superstar, yet I think she's better than Samantha Miss.
Miss Finland?
Better than Miss Finland.
But the fact is, they don't win it. They don't win it. There's only been one in history.
Yeah, but not many have run in it.
No.
Atlantic Jewel, the 2 favourites pair down and race 3 lengths clear from Shani Rose and Hallowell Bell finishing off down the outside. But it looks like a taught Atlantic Jewel. She left Machine behind. She sprints away. She opens up, and it's a devastating, brilliant win. Atlantic Jewel by 3 lengths Machine, 2 lengths to Shani Rose, Hallowell Bell 4, and then disputes and
She's simply head and shoulders above her female rivals, Atlantic Jewel, now unbeaten this Fastnet Rock filly. Immediately after the race, Mark Kavanagh suggested she might go straight to the spelling paddock, but fortunately, they've decided to race on with her this spring.
Yeah, look, and interesting. Look, she's a star. The way she picks up opposition in 3 bounds and just rattles over sectionals that you've never seen before in her first preparation, mind you. I find it amusing that they're saying, that she may have had enough, and then all of a sudden it's 2 runs, the Wakeful and the Oaks. I thought it might have been either the Cox Plate or and pull stumps, or maybe even the Mire on the last day, the mare's race for her. But look, they know what they're doing. You're so lucky, Richard. This filly's not running in that Cox Plate the way you've been bagging these fillies. I'm telling you.
The Coolmore connections are very wise racing people. They know that these 3-year-old fillies, no matter how good they are, get beaten up at a Cox Plate, right? They get beaten up by those tough old horses. They get intimidated by them because they are 3-year-old fillies. And I reckon they made a very wise decision.
With her racing style, just relaxing out the back, it's not going to hurt her.
They get beat up. Anyway, we'll argue about this for years to come.
Is that Rod laughing at you? Is he the way
No,
he's
he's-
bagging these?
Yes,
No,
he's flashing the McLean's smile, isn't he,
Yes,
Michael
is.
Rowe? He
That
brushed
saved
his
him
teeth for the occasion.
200 or 300 from waving his whip. What I did want to say about her
Is the horse to beat. I love the drifting betting. Better the price.
And cruising.
Okay, and she Caulfield course, isn't it? It's just fitted into the topography the way it was meant to.
Leaders. And Roma Giaconda together with Petamento on their outside. And back at the end is Vittoria and Call Me Coco last. Less than 800 to go. And Baptism for Schofield led by a half to Movo. A length and a half to Gliding's had a good run. Metonymy fourth the outside. Then Quench the Thirst in fifth placing outside of Geo. They're followed then by Fallen One down on the inside from Panhandle to Pari. Roma Giaconda nowhere to go on the inside, and Dowager Queen also in some trouble up towards the home turn. She's in traffic, and on the outside then came Petamento swinging around the turn now, and it's Movo and Metonymy, the two leaders. Baptism was quickly beaten. Quench the Thirst pulls out. Gliding gets into the clear from Geo. Fallen One coming through near the inside. It's Gliding now in Bart's famous colours, taking the lead at the 200. Geo running on with Fallen One. Down the outside, Victoria starting to flash home pretty strongly, but Gliding is 2 lengths in front. There's a swarm chasing her, but Gliding won by 2 lengths. Dowager Queen got going when it was all over to get the second placing. Either Victoria or Geo for third. Fallen One's close up from Metonymy and Petamento.
The Oaks on that. A couple of real roughies have run third and fourth. Real.
Victoria.
Onto the Oaks for Gliding. Well done to Bart. Great ride again by Beedman, but no doubt anywhere that this was the unluckiest runner of the day. There was your Queen. How ran second. Rich, I know we both shared a
Like two. Gliding was every possible, and Dowager Queen just had no momentum and just about run of the day.
This is for the male 3-year-olds heading towards the Derby Day, and this is how the market looks for this. Well tried here, Niagara. It's been one of the biggest goes of the day. Michael Sullivan told us that earlier today.
The winner was up there in the box seat. We'll have the gun run and had a couple of
And away they go now. Starters caught them pretty well, and Niagara is one of the first to show down on the inside. Sangster jumps okay and is just being steadied up early. Bashan, Sabridge and Costly Commitment all the way quickly, and Shelto is driving on, and Chieftain Jack's out wide pressing up towards the front. It's Bashan who goes to the lead, but Shelto's up there and is joining him early, and they give Niagara a nice trail. Third down on the inside, company with Gorilla's Mist. So Bashan and Chieftain Jack, the 2 leaders. 2 lengths in front of Shelto, and Niagara's had a dream run right behind them. Sexter's going up ahead of him on the outside, and Niagara just has to wait here. Trump's gone around him, Isopec's gone around him too, so all of a sudden he's in some trouble, the favourite, up towards the turn where Sexter wide out goes to the lead. Trump and Shelto in the white blaze are there from Chieftain Jack and Isopec. Niagara's waiting on the rails when they corner, but Sexter's not waiting. He says, catch me if you can. Led by 2 lengths. Running on Sabridge on the outside. Niagara's not in the hunt for the moment. Sangster by 2. Sabridge is running on. It's Sangster getting a little tired. Sabridge a length away and closing, and then Niagara. It's Sangster just the leader. Sabridge diving at him. Sabridge hit the front. Sabridge just won from Sangster. Niagara's the unlucky runner, third a length and a half away. That trio got away on Costly Commitment. Billionaire Vatu Vai. Followed further.
another Derby horse here in Sabridge, who
is sort of one off the fence and just tacking up behind.
I bowler with a sabre. That's what Sabrage means. It also means you got a good chance of winning the Derby Victoria Derby with a charge forward. Who would know? Is it coming up to something like? I'm the second guess guy.
So here have put a fair gap on the rest. Good strong tempo here. They would have led the fillies race by about 9 lengths, Bruce, after 1200. So a good solid tempo. So a Derby Hesting sort of tempo.
But Ronnie Sangster, the horse he narrowly beat on the line, ridden by the New Zealand star James McDonald. What do you assess of that performance?
Look, a lot of criticism of young James after that ride, saying he went too early, and he probably did. It's his first big spring carnival. He's on the centre stage, and maybe the moment got to him. He's still a young man, and he's one of the best talents I've seen in years. But that wasn't one of his better rides. But I could see what he was thinking.
They're about to see is a star in the Sepoy, and the betting will tell you that $1.20, $1.10. Tats at the moment $1. Still in the Western world. Check the world at $1.30, $500,000. It must have it in the first place, wouldn't it? To win to win 150,000. Anyway, let's have a look at the menu. Nerves, Pete?
No, I'm going to run Rich. He's going
$1.24 into $1.22 for Sepoy. A turbo.
And they're only sort of $10 punters now. They're good.
Well, I'm sorry, I got it this morning. So it's actually been $1.30 into $1.22.
Yeah.
Which is a bit of a.
You're not far away here. Grand Duels to come up into the line. So the champion 3-year-old Sepoy taking on the older horses with well overweight for age here. He's $1.20. Sepoy barrier 1. 1,100 metres, they're set. Racing now. And Sepoy jumped away fairly down on the inside. Platinum Sky away very, very fast and is going for the lead early. Getting through about 2 lengths away in second placing Sepoy. And Buffering didn't try for the lead. He settled down third. And he's been able to come away from the rail on Sepoy, so he's just perfectly poised after about 300 metres. Vassal Demand back fourth over on the inside. 1.5 lengths Katana. On the inside there of Midsummer Music, and 2 lengths further back is Perturbo, and last is Grand Duel. So Platinum Sky out in front, just over 1 length. Sepoy coasting along second, 3 lengths further back, Buffering Vassal Demand. Midsummer Music starting her move, and then Kurtana. Platinum Sky cornering just over 1 length in front. McAvoy hasn't asked Sepoy yet. They've balanced now for the run in, and he releases the brakes on Sepoy, and he immediately responds and went to Platinum Passion. 3 lengths further back then is Midsummer Music. She's starting to finish off pretty strongly. Sepoy by 2 lengths, 100 to go. Katana and Midsummer Music are trying hard to get to him, but he's too good for them, Sepoy, and he won it by 1.25 lengths. Moody's pair hit it together for the Miners. Katana the inside of Midsummer Music. They're about 4 lengths in advance of Perturbo and also Platinum Sky. There's not a lot between those for fourth. And behind them,
Painless, not brilliant, pretty painless. So easy work for Sepoy. Still a bit of a dawdler out of the gates, but butters up quickly. Rides the speed. Moody's pairs run terrific behind to run the placings. Katana and
He just showed just the true qualities that he has. He's a very, very special horse, and what he's done hasn't been done by very many horses, only champion horses, and believe me, he's one of them.
How many horses would you?
I mean, I think Kevin was trying to give him as easy a possible time once he got past the grade.
Today with $1.22 today with one bet of $500,000 on him, and he didn't disappoint. He was brilliant. Buffering.
He'd been beaten once. He is a star, and considering yesterday that as a 3-year-old he carried more than weight for age, a lot more than weight for age, 2.5 kilos. Maxi did $1.30 for the big punters who stepped in, $500,000 at sporting bet on him. The last 3-year-olds to win it, Jet Spur 52, Campaign King 52.5 kilos. So good measure there in the performance. Time good, job done. And on
With you, 2.5 overweight for age. He was barely ridden. He was ridden for about 100 metres. Katana and Midsummer Music for Peter Moody were terrific for that next level down. Up to the rest.
Yeah, Karen knew exactly.
My music.
Yeah, I reckon he's one of the most dominant horses I've ridden, you know, especially in it's no doubt in Australia he's the best horse I've ridden. Just the way he does it, and you know, we're really looking forward to the Cornwall now. It's going to be his main race on Derby Day, and yeah, can't wait for that day now.
Sepoy, the Super Colt, undefeated since his Golden Slipper win, and that's now 5 straight victories. Richard, what more can be said about this fantastic horse, except we're dying to see potentially a clash with Black Caviar, but that will not happen.
Will never happen because it wouldn't make any sense for the connections of Sepoy to want to take her on. The game with him now is protecting his stallion value. Now, that's all about perception. He keeps winning and winning and winning. The perception stays high, his value stays high, his popularity will stay high. And you get him colours lowered by Black Caviar potentially. That damages his credibility and does nothing really for hers. Her value doesn't change whether the edge off him coming back 100 metres. He wasn't quite as dominant as I thought he was at Moonee Valley. He's carried 55.5. Well, he's carried 55.5 for a 3-year-old, which is outstanding.
Exactly.
And here, if you watch Karen McAvoy, he was just having a quick peek over his right shoulder. Then he looked at the screen on the inside. He knew what he was doing. I thought he might be taking it a bit
cap. He's got 55.5. He's back in distance. He's chasing 1,000-metre horse, and he wins with authority.
Yes, he's outstanding.
Outstanding. Outstanding.
Look at race 6. This is a terrific race. Race of many chances. This is the Betfair today, Group 3, but brings together a very competitive field. Probably the most.
Lovecock. So 5.30 still on the total. Lovecock was all 5.10. Favourite is Marina Miss. They're racing, and Love Conquers All jumps well on the inside. He's one of the early leaders. Utah Saints away very quickly, is out looking for the front. And also Lune began fast. He drives through in the middle, and these are the three ahead of Dan's Island and then Amathon, but they settle fully now. And it's Utah Saints who goes on and finds the lead just over a length in front of Love Conquers All on the inside, now shaded by Lune. Amathon a length and a half away, settling down fourth with Budrigas. They're followed by Dan's Island, feeling ready. Hurtle Myrtle around the outside, one Verenimus and Pinwheel, Albert the Fat and Rathira's last. At the 700 metres down the side, and Utah Saints wanting to over-race a bit, led by a half a length to Lune, one to Budrigas. Love Conquers All tucked in on the inside fourth, followed by Amathon. A length Hurtle Myrtle, Dan's Island, feeling ready. One further back is Pinwheel, Verenimus, and they're followed by Albert the Fat with Rathira last. 10 lengths first to last, 400 left to go. And Utah Saints is going to corner into this stiff breeze, about a neck in front of Lune. Budrigas waiting. Love Conquers All is going to force its passage. It's got the clear run with Amathon on his outside. Pinwheel's a fair way back. It's with 200 to go. Lune hitting the front, but Love Conquers All. Here he comes now. Love Conquers All under the whip. He's raced up. He's bolted away. Pinwheel is starting to charge home, and then Amathon. Love Conquers All is well clear. Love Conquers All by 2 lengths. Albert the Fat burst through to get second. Pinwheel third ahead of Amathon. Hurtle Myrtle, and then Lune, followed by Ed's Island, an uncharacteristic last.
Well, we've seen Darren Beedman team up with old mate Bart Cummings earlier today, and now he does it with old mate John Hawkes. They won the race with Flavour 10 years ago, and he was never going to lose that. Box seat out of the inside gate, and 2 for the day. Money.
Really good time here, 121.95. So, as Sammy said, they were going along 121.
The one race of the day, and I'm not one of those people that with all the wind, but yesterday when this race was run, it was Fennigan gale-like.
It was, yeah.
It was gale-like, and that was you needed a bit of cover. The horses.
This ride, he jumped from barrier.
Well, Makunji Handicap was used to be a lead up to a Caulfield Cup. Now it's run on Caulfield Cup Day, of course, and it brings together some of those who missed out in the final 18 for the Caulfield Cup, plus a very good bunch of stayers, middle distance performers. Midnight Martini comes up favourite on Alton.
Then McPrice and McDonald's, and then it goes all the way around.
And to Moody's, and then you get all the way over to the top.
Night Martini jumps away evenly. Extra Zero got a good start. Lucky 88 jumped well, has bustled to hold its place up in the first 4, and Platinum Passion is coming over from the outside barrier and did it very comfortably, crossing over to find the lead. So Platinum Passion by 2 lengths. Lucky 88 moving to second outside Extra Zero, and Midnight Martini is a handy fourth with a length and a half to Red Colossus. They're being followed by the 1,000. Tester's double second last. Fortella is last on the fence. Platinum Passion led, 800 left to go. Lucky 88 is second. Red Colossus moving up deep to third. Extra Zero's had the cozy run. So too Midnight Martini. Almodovar commencing a wide move, and Booming is next, followed by Hissing Sid Base. Tester's double Yolandi and Fortella. 500 left to go, and still Platinum Passion shows the way before the turn. Lucky 88 niggled for second. Red Colossus wider. Extra Zero stalking the front runner. Almodovar, Midnight Martini in bad traffic problems, trying to find a way clear into the straight. Platinum Passion from Red Colossus. Extra Zero gets up on the inside. Midnight Martini in the clear. Platinum Passion the leader. Extra Zero the fence. Now Midnight Martini. Here's Fortella down the outside. Platinum Passion from Extra Zero. They're closing Midnight Martini, Booming and Fortella. Fortella swallows them all up out wide. Grab 5 of them and 1. Fortella from last of the Midnight Martini or Extra Zero. Platinum Passion a close-up for the Miners, and also Booming just off them. Double.
Well, a huge win here for Chris Waller's first runner in Melbourne, or second runner in Melbourne. Albert the Fat. Fortella gave him all the start, wound up late, and delivers a big knockout punch. It's been a quiet
5, 10, and at 8. And there are your interim dividends for Inglis. All right, Sammy.
Well, the same number of people Richie said thought Love Conquers All was flat second up. Is that so many horses near where it owns? Fortella from last year, brilliant performance off the Epsom, and a busy finish behind.
Well, that's the key to it. There's certainly a busy finish. But look, all honours with the win. Back last, didn't handle Caulfield at all. Got to the outside, ran over him off a 1:15.63 first 1200. Look, I'm not looking outside of him. The two that the punters like, Midnight Martini.
Up and rolling.
Sure.
And get that break on them. This horse, he's tricky. You don't know whether he's a stayer or a sprinter. I think he'll get a mile and a half, but you just got to ride him cold. Now,
Ronnie, and an example yesterday of the Sydney dominance of the card.
Boy, that was a dominant win. Look at this. They slowed up, and you thought, oh, he's got no hope out the back there. The way he rounds them up, He just left the opposition with no excuses. He made them look second rate. He could go onto an Emirates. He probably could go onto a McKinnon and race well. No, outstanding.
Settled off by More Joyous, who is the favourite. Look at the totes here. $1.60 More Joyous, $1.40. Serpent 3 runs in.
Just has gone out to 180 in the last couple of minutes. 15 to 16 a response. Sister Madley's been 420, just out marginally.
Yeah, tad awkward. And she might have a very high wither, hence the reason they've
$1.90.
Well, it is well, but moves way off it.
Off it there. We're 5 minutes past start.
They're away in racing, and Born to Rock began brilliantly down on the inside. Let's see, More Joyous look to jump away okay. She's up in the first half a dozen or so. It is going forward now. Royal Command from the outside to find the lead ahead of Lucha Libre, Born to Rock, and I'm Discreet in the lime colours driving forward fourth, being followed 2 lengths away Sister Madly. A length and a half further back is Screen on the inside, and then More Joyous. She's within about 6 lengths of the leading horses, tracked up a length away then by Miss Matari, and then Booklet and Response, and further back is Dysphonia, Sistine Angel and Goon Serpent. I'm Discreet, the leader at the 700 metres, did some work but found the front. Royal Command's 3/4 away, retaining the rail. Lucha Libre a length away third. Sister Madly right up on the steel in fourth placing. Born to Rock down on the inside, and then Screen, followed by More Joyous, now within 5 lengths at the very most of the leader. Miss Matari trying to follow her, followed by Response, Booklet, Sistine Angel, and then Dysphonia and Goon Serpent. I'm Discreet with Royal Commands coming back on the inside. They're leading around the turn. Sister Madly's right there, and now More Joyous coming on down the outside. Born to Rock getting an inside run. Sister Madly goes to the lead. More Joyous coming after her. And the 2 favourites are the leaders with Screen and Response coming home. Sister Madly and More Joyous. More Joyous getting to the lead. Response coming. More Joyous, Sister Madly. More Joyous just in front, and More Joyous a half head to Sister Madly. A great finish. A length and a half Response third. Goon Serpent got home strongly. Might get the 4 from Dysphonia. Screen last in.
Well, it took forever to work the race out in terms of getting the horse onto the track, and it took forever to win the race out in the track. It was built as a 2-horse race. It ends up a 2-horse race, or the 1-horse race. More Joyous wins. Punters, so you need a drink to get through that 10 minutes before she got the prize. Just
and retains a terrific record of never having been beaten when she's in a race that's restricted to her own gender.
She's not going as well as she was normally when I ride her. I don't believe. She's getting a little bit older.
Length and a half Response.
Well, we had all the issues pre-race with the saddling, and stewards have told the connections that the saddle days, but she's won 15 to 21. No point knocking a star like her. I don't think she was at her best yesterday. Nash will tell us more about that. Sister Madly is at her best.
Best run of the day. More Joyous did enough to win, but I'm with you and Bruce and Rich. I'm sure she's not going as well as that, because her best she's eaten Sister Madly before.
On the turn, I thought she'd do.
Pot on the winner.
Look, she got the job done. We forget how good she is. You know, we've been spoilt this spring with your black caviars, your helmets, your sepoys, and we keep forgetting about such a great mare like her. But was she at a brilliant best yesterday? Maybe not, because Sister Madly looked desperately unlucky to my eyes. She had the 1-1. She did a thing that she's always had a trait, pulling too hard and not relaxing. And
I can't believe she kept going.
I can't either. She should have won.
She should. I was watching her in the run thinking, well, you've just got to collapse after straightening because you've pulled most of the way and sat 3 deep facing the breeze. And she had the temerity to put a couple of lengths on them. Now, I think it's
being sung for but all the festivities leading into the BMW Caulfield Cup have taken place. Jockeys 2,400 metres from the top of the straight. No, we're not. Hang on. Here we go. Now Sam's in Barry.
Continue to roll in for Mighty High. Lucas Cranash is 14 out to 15. Just withdraw 3 out to 320. Scepter Platty is 21. 17 out to 18 for Tullamore. We've got $9 about out to 12 for Green Moon. It's been a drifter. 9 out to 12. $51 about Macedonian. And down the bottom, Southern Speed at $11. It was good money for her after she drew well. Favourite?
2 Caulfield Cup bus, but he's neat and strong and looks terrific, ready to go.
He's quite striking, isn't he? For a dark bay. He looks well. He's been cleared to run. That win that we kept watching.
Although his coat looks a lot better than it's ever looked in himself, he just doesn't carry any condition. He's had an exemplary professional campaign here, well handled by.
Where he's got to be? You're happy where he is now?
Describe to your eye how this horse looks with a collection point, wasn't he?
December Draw jumped nicely and Mighty High got away very fast down on the inside. Drunken Sailor straight over their heels early. Tullamore began fast and so did Dream Peddler. Here's Nywat going up quickly on the outside. December Draw's dropped in just behind them. Shoot Off is going forward, but Beedman kicks through, and it's Mighty High who has the lead in a charge at the turn out of the straight. He left the fence. He's in front. He's hanging badly around that bottom turn. He's going out to the 2,000 in front of Dream Peddler, and Nywat is booted forward, and he's caught wide on the speed. Shoot Off is 2 lengths away. He gets a good run, and so too, down on the inside, did Southern Speed. 2 lengths further back is Tullamore. A length and a half Managar not far away, and December Draw poised, and Green Moon his outside, travelling a bit wide. Drunken Sailor getting up on the inside, followed by Scepter Party. Further back, absolutely well back on the inside of Unusual Suspect. Precedence caught about 4 wide by the 1400. Well back is Lucas Cranach, followed then by Doomski, and well back in the field then in second last placing is Hawk Island, and Macedonian is last of all. Mighty High at the halfway, 1,200 to go, led by 2 lengths. Nywat second, Green Peddler 2 lengths third. Southern Speed fourth, the inside, 1.5 to Shoot Off, and then Managar. They're being followed by Green Moon out wider on the track, and then came Tullamore. A length and a half away, Precedence outside, Drunken Sailor. Further back, December Draw about 9 or 10 lengths away from the leader. They're followed then by Hawk Island, and then absolutely Scepter Party. Lucas Cranach as well back to the railway side, followed by Macedonian, Unusual Suspect, and Doomski is last of all. Less than 800 metres to go, and Mighty High by neck to Nywat, Dream Peddler. Green Moon wider out, and then Southern Speed waiting on a run. Precedence has been wide, and then Shoot Off, Tullamore. Further back is Hawk Island. Managar getting up on the inside. Back behind them then, Lucas Cranach coming around the outside, and Scepter Party. December Draw's in awful trouble. He's back fourth last. He surely couldn't win from there. Green Moon led around the home turn. Southern Speed in the clear. Lucas Cranach coming down the outside, and then came Tullamore. 250 to go now. Green Moon with Southern Speed closing on the outside. Tullamore and Lucas Cranach are wider out. Bauer getting through near the inside of the Managar. 100 metres to go. Southern Speed. Southern Speed burst to the front now. Raced away, and Southern Speed won the Caulfield Cup. A length and a half to Green Moon, Tullamore, and close up Managar the inside. Unusual Suspect got home from Lucas Cranach, and further back then was getting home along the inside, Drunken Sailor. Followed then by Nywat, absolutely Shoot Off by Dream Peddler. Scepter Party towards the end. December Draw beaten well before the home turn. Mighty High towards the end, and Doomski is last in. Southern Speed for Craig Williams has won the Caulfield Cup.
And it's a first Caulfield Cup for Craig Williams, and a brilliant ride it is. You can say, well, winning rides are brilliant rides, but it was. Numbers here confirmed.
And as soon as she drew the barrier, they backed her at big odds. Leon McDonald, one of the gentlemen of the turf, is with.
Bruce is sensational. I mean, it's really the one we wanted when you go into a race with a good chance and things work right. And that was pretty important. So at the start of the win anyway. And as soon as she got to a mile plus, she started to show her form.
Yeah, she turned up in the stock stakes, and that was probably the day you thought you're back on track.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, and she's raced very good. She was probably in front too far out in the Turnbull. She was probably on the fence for too long.
Watching today, watching that race, she must have been pretty good connections with Craig to ride the horse today.
Yeah, I have, and that's probably my saddest moment in the whole thing, that Claire wasn't on the horse. She spent a lot of time getting this horse ready, and it's just not good.
But it's good for you. What about, obviously, the obvious question, onto a Melbourne Cup? Caulfield Cup winners into a Melbourne Cup.
She's not in the Melbourne Cup.
Would you like to get there, though?
Oh, I don't think so. Yeah. No, we've done our job.
Enjoy the party for the rest of the spring.
Trainer Mark Kavanagh. There's your interim dividends for the 2011 Caulfield Cup. They took $26 a bet, this horse, as soon as she drew the gun gate, and she's gone $10.20 on Super.
Winning it, you've pulled it off, Craig. Congratulations to you. What does it mean?
Yeah, certainly. I was very lucky. I had a great support team behind me. My uncle and auntie sent a text message and told me that credit's got to go to Claire Lindrop. I heard that she'd come down and rode it during the week. My agent, Mark Guest.
Big where you work, and see a lot of things happening, which is a typical of a Caulfield Cup.
Yeah, I thought I was quite lucky. She felt really relaxed and quiet in the gates, and I was a little bit worried she wouldn't hit the gates. I was able to use her good gate speed and a good barrier, and got into a lovely position. And I think there'd be a few very good rides from outside draws. I could see him outside of me and Daniel for a good 150 metres, but outside of me and Daniel for a good 150 metres. But at the end, she ran away. She was really dominant. So they've done a great job of it.
Which, as you said yesterday, they weren't suitable, but could you tell how well she was going at the time?
Look, I thought she was always going well. She always looked well in her coat and everything, and she'd come up really well. She was, she was had a couple of noughts alongside of her name. They were only, she was beaten about 3.5 lengths both times. Come from a long way back in those races, and she was just looking to get over a bit more ground.
Play on the
Speed closing up.
The first mare since Ethereal to win the BMW Caulfield Cup yesterday, and Craig Williams now has 3 of the majors. He needs a Melbourne Cup to come. Maxi Div there for Southern Speed at $10.60. Green Moon fine 5,000. Hit the horse 12 times with the whip before the last 100 metres. More on that later as we discuss that. We'll talk about the Beaten Brigade shortly, but watching the race, Leon, you drew the barrier. Craig was able to just take the perfect sit in running. It would have been pretty sweet to watch.
It was, yeah. I mean, barriers make an enormous difference in races if you've got a bit of pace and can put yourself in the races.
I've got no doubt in a few other times you would have drawn a bad barrier that's cost you a race. So you got to take the good with the bad.
Yeah, you do, Richard, yeah.
First try at the trip, obviously she was pretty strong on the line. What's the next move? There's talk about a Cox Plate next week.
But Stocks Stakes, Group 2, they can push it up to Group 1 off that, can't they?
I reckon they probably can off this preparation. She hasn't form been just phenomenal out of that, even through Sydney as well, Rich. But,
Come up to Sydney and second in the Epsom, Kings Rose, and just been a winner-a-thon. And your girl hit the line super there to run fourth.
Yeah, she did, and she was probably the corner. Otherwise, she'd probably been closer. But
Fantastic run, Bruce. Probably didn't have the tactical speed to go forward in the early stages. So I had to cover a lot of ground and probably took his time the last 200.
Ran really good, Bruce. I reckon I was a little bit stiff. I just needed to get rolling a bit early, but everyone sort of made their runs a long way from home, and I was jammed up. And when he got out in the open, he hit the line really good.
Yeah, had a lovely run, followed the winner. Thought it was a chance when I straightened up, but the winner just kicked a bit too strong for him, and that's about him. He ran about a similar race. But he's that typical European sort of stayer. He's happy to fall out of the barriers and do nothing the first half of the race. Got into the race okay, didn't really have much. I got on the back of December Draw on Hawk Island, and they took me both nowhere. So had to make a little bit of a long run at him, but was happy being out wide where he could gather momentum. But peaked on his run about 100 out. He'll love getting to Flemington.
Yeah, I thought it was a promising run. He had a bit of a checkered passage in the home straight too, and really ran to the race off well. I think 3,200 would be right.
A bit hollow for him to run like that, so something has to be wrong. And, obviously the vets are going to go over him, and just hope he's okay. We had a lovely run. The pace was nice and solid for us, and he travelled really sweetly. I was really happy where I was. Coming just around the half mile there, I was able to come out and get up behind precedence, and I just bided my time for a little bit there and just waited for another one to take off, and then I'll pop out the inside of it. And no sooner had I sort of Hawk Island had come around me, I went to move him out of the way, and there just wasn't anything there, Bruce. It's not like him. He will pull me going on.
There is something wrong with December Draw. Pass over to the veterinary surgeon of Racing of Ipswich, Richard Callender, to bring us up to speed.
Well, he's been diagnosed with a fracture of the lateral split bone in the off hind leg. The fracture, which means I'm not a vet, but it means that he's out for a long spell. He'll miss the autumn and he'll be come back for the next spring. I suppose every horse handles it different, and he obviously felt it yesterday.
Analysing the runs, the obvious is Green Moon, the obvious is Lucas Cranach, very good.
Renegar.
He's an unusual suspect, good. What do you make of him?
Well, not much else to report other than what you've said. Look, 5 of the first 7 internationals, if you count Green Moon. I mean, you could argue, with that, no disrespect, Leon, swap the runs, and Green Moon was probably wins a race. He was huge.
But he's a type of horse. I will say one thing about Green Moon.
I'm not sure we saw the Melbourne Cup winner yesterday. Here's the Melbourne Cup market, and this is how it looks after yesterday. And, of course, a new shipment of internationals came in overnight. Merrick Kane will run in the Moonee Valley Cup. Green Moon will go to the Lexus as a lead-in.
He's got to get... Is he in the Melbourne Cup, Green Moon? Or would he have to win the...
Very possible yesterday, 21. Tullamore good. Dunedin runs at Geelong. Drunken Sailor, where we're going to, because it's going to be a big morning on Tuesday. Don't forget, 7 o'clock Tuesday morning. Richie and I will be there about 5. We're going to take you through all the track work. At 5.
Do bacon and eggs at 5?
Yeah, well, absolutely.
Is it at 5 a.m. in the morning now? When did this start?
Yeah, phone from Jimmy Chu now. Jimmy Chu will be there Tuesday morning. Atlantic Jewel, take it out. $5, won't be running, not nominated. Lion Tamer Glass.
Favourite December Draw, who finished clear last yesterday. Mark Kavanagh has just told me the horse has fractured a lateral splint bone in the off hind leg. Already the vets have recommended that we won't see the horse at all until the spring of next year. They have been told.
4-year-old mare since Ethereal to win the Caulfield Cup.
As far as that angle's concerned.
Well, you never make decisions on a race course, I don't think, but last night wasn't much better than at a race course. I haven't spoken to the owners yet. The Cox Plate's obviously an option, but maybe it will be the McKinnons.
Leon, there was
Green Moon was sensational there. He covered ground. They went a lot harder than expected early, so he couldn't really keep up. But he showed great staying qualities again. Unfortunately, he's 52nd, I think, in the order of entry for the Melbourne Cup. So he has to go through the staying race on Derby Day to qualify himself. So he's not in the field yet, but if he gets in the Melbourne Cup, he looks a real 2-miler. Tullamore, beautifully ridden by Newitt, raced well. There's something for him over the spring. I'm not so sure whether it's a Melbourne Cup or not, but he's certainly hitting a peak at the right time. Managard, Drunken Sailor, all good. Unusual Suspect. Very good. I don't know what happened to Cranbourne last Sunday, but he really turned his form.
She left out poor old Lucas Craddock. I
Yeah.
thought he did a great
Well,
job
he
from the
did,
back of the field and circled them, and he peaked at about the 100-metre mark, and just, probably will improve with a run.
Yeah, and pulled up sore though.
He pulled up, the vets reported he pulled up slightly lame in the foot that's been giving him some trouble, but, that's...
Mick Kent will go to the McKinnon Stakes. He loves that quick backup with this American horse. He did it successfully with Cranbourne and the Caulfield Cup. So McKinnon into the Melbourne Cup.
That's our analysis of.
So you think ran overnight. Australia's champ, New Zealand bred.
Let me tell you about this week. No, this run.
Run second here to Syros de Angles, who was targeted for a Cox Plate. Almost got here too.
On the heels of the leaders, Dubai Prince is being bumped along with 3 Future. Midday's quite a long way back. As now Nathaniel strikes for home. 2 furlongs out. Nathaniel, the move covered by So You Think, has got to within half a length. Cirrus Desaigle, Snow Fairy, towards the outside, twice over, can't go on. Midday tries to stay on, So You Think, and Cirrus Desaigle, then Snow Fairy looking for an out underneath the pair. Will we switch to the outside? Midday and Green Destiny. Cirrus Desaigle on the outside, but So You Think, Snow Fairy is back in third. Cirrus Desaigle on the near side for Christophe Soumillon. Cirrus Desaigle, the champion stakes goes to France. Cirrus Desaigle, the winner. So You Think, and so...
Well, absolutely every possible winner, very good. You know that horse couldn't run in the Arc because it's a gelding. French trained. He can't be a gelding. It couldn't run in the Arc. Cirrus de Angles, yeah. And can you tell me this is excessive use of the whip by Sumi on the winner? It's just ridiculous. He got 5-day ban, stripped of his share of the $700,000 in prize money. And some of the comments that he made afterward, we'll talk about So You Think first. No excuse, beaten by a better horse.
No, look, and he was in for the fight. That's what I love about him. He's got a touch of class and courage. He was only not over the last 50.
Yeah, he was good. Now, when he got this ban, this is Sumi on after the race. He speaks pretty straightforward. I'm very, very embarrassed for British racing. The people and the fans have been let down. This is 2011. We're civilised people. It's not the 1800s, and we can't be treated like this. The rules can change, but not like this. You can't chop our heads and legs off. I'm not here to whip horses. I'm here to make the horses run their best. These whips are soft, and maybe I should have hit him earlier. You're going flat out. There's a huge crowd advertising everywhere. How are you meant to see a furlong?
When they first started bringing them in, I said it's just going to get out of hand. It'll get a bit worse and worse. And what's happened now? Getting out of hand right around the world.
Don't worry, So You Think I've beaten by that.
I don't think we'll see 200. I honestly think it's getting that ridiculous around the world that eventually there won't be any horse racing.
Last week,
it's a classic case of one horse being set for the race, which the winner was, and maybe a little bit of an afterthought with the second horse. That's all I can put it down to. But too good. He was left with no excuses. I think Sumion and the winner, with these new whip rules over there, they've fined him 50,000 or something.
Well, not only that, he's been banned for 5 days.
He makes me laugh, Christophe Soumillon.
He's not laughing this morning.
No, but he's a brilliant rider. It's a brilliant rider, but I don't think he takes a lot of notice of.
Voice Immortal.
To talk about
Celebration with Poet's Voice, Immortal Verse, and Side Glance. Bullet Train, the pacemaker, still has a lead of about 5 to 6 lengths. Frankel is towing up the main group with Celebration, Poet's Voice, Immortal Verse, White and Green beginning to steal closer. 2 furlongs out, the moment of truth as Frankel moves alongside Bullet Train. Immortal Verse in danger of running up the back of the pacemaker. Frankel is asked to stretch, has found 2 to 3 lengths from Celebration and Immortal Verse. Frankel being held together. Celebration 2 lengths down. Frankel now in full cry. Celebration and Immortal Verse. 2 quality horses are made to look mere mortals as Frankel remains unbeaten and wins the QE2. Celebration was second, take third.
A great call. Two good horses running second and third, made look mere mortals by the champ, Frankel. Now, all I can say is, look, it's probably not going to happen, Black Caviar V, but at least they're having a go. It could be 1,000,000 to 1 chance, but well done to the when they've visioned it and tried to do it.
People buy lotto tickets every week, and it's 5 billion to 1. This might be 1,000,000 to 1. Why not have a go? The more I hear Mike Simons talk, the more I see him in action, the more I get impressed with the man.
The new whip rules in Britain shortly on the show. But before we do, how can we not highlight the performance of Frankel overnight as well? He's now unbeaten, 9 from 9. Led them as he usually does, and it was another stunning performance.
He's a superstar, this horse. I'm in awe of him. He just has this cruising speed. He breaks their hearts, and he's doing it again. And is he the best horse in the world? Probably. Is he the best sprinter in the world? Well, probably not. You know, Black Caviar would beat him at the sprint distances, but if you could put them together at, say, 1,500 metres, what a race that would be.
In your dreams.
No,
It's
it
not
won't
going to happen.
either. It's never going to happen.
Two champions we're talking about there, and they've got different horses altogether. But
She is a Centrebet Geelong Cup, about 15 minutes away. The runner's not in the yard yet, but we'll see it become a truly international race, as we well know. Following the deeds of Americane, Bauer, who's back again this year to try and do it again. And, of course, the horse that started, really, Media Puzzle. Like, Dunadan looked magnificent as he paraded here, as did Americane last year. Let's go to Terry for this year.
Juna Den, well tried late. Tamby looks very hard to beat. Would have a real good purchase. Look at this great race here, which has now become a trendsetter in the modern era. Since Media Puzzle, it has been a great lead-up race to the Melbourne Cup with racing in the Cup. I'm Jake near the inside, was ridden out with a bit of urgency to go forward. Red Eye Special away well with Rebel Soldier. Perfect Picks, Tamby in the blue jacket away very quickly. Little Bowers hunting up behind the main pack and coming across Show Cause. Perfect Picks is going to go to the lead for Dean Yendall. Rebel Soldier booted up to keep him one away from the fence. I'm Jake's all fired up on the rail running third. Tamby 3 wide. King trying to slot in behind Perfect Pex, and he'll do so. Masterful piece of riding. A length away, Red Eye Special 5th. Show Cause 6th, and back on the inside, Doyaraka. They were followed further back by Bauer, 2 lengths away, is Back in Black. Spachinka back on the inside of Junadin, 2 lengths away. Second last is Hume, having a good stare. A length and a half to I'm Jake, and then came Tamby, the Cup favourite. Dayaraka back on the inside in 5th spot. Red Eye Special right on the back of Tamby. Show Cause on the back of Red Eye Special, and Bauer on the fence. They were followed a fair way back by Spachinka. He's back 5th last on the rail. Further back in the field then is the Kiwi Galloper, and that is Back in Black. Starting to make ground now is Junadin, but he's a long way off them, but pulling out for Williams. 2 lengths to Human, above average, brought up the Cup field. Perfect Picks, the big horse straight to the front. Tanby's right on his tracks, a length and a half away with I'm Jake the inside. Coming around them, Show Cause, and starting its run now quickly is the French horse. Junadin's wide out, but he's made up a stack of ground very quickly. In the home running in the Geelong Cup, Perfect Picks leads Tanby. Junadin's coming with a magnificent run down the centre, and he went to them in one stride. The French horse trying to do American. He raced to the front now from Tanby. It's Junadin in front of Tanby. Show Cause and Back in Black. Junadin leads the way, and the French do it again. Junadin won the Cup from Tanby. And what about Bauer? He was brave late. Show Cause 4th, Perfect Picks 5th. Back in Black ran a race from Spachinka Hume. They were followed well back by I'm Jake, Red Eye Special, above average. And Doyaraka and Rebel Soldier hasn't even made it past the post. He's done a U-turn. You can't beat the French.
Brilliant staying performance here by Dunadan, and he'll rocket up the charts now for the Emirates Melbourne Cup. As impressive with the maximum weight this year as was American last year. Had to circle the field on a day when they're not making up a lot of weight. He looked the part as he paraded. He comes out and delivers in spades and beats a quad.
Yeah, it was a perfect run. Coming into the race, we knew he'd settle in so well at Werribee. 2 bits of work he'd done with Craig were fantastic. Thought he would need to run. Had to be ridden cold at the back, which he was. Round was a slight worry, and what he's done today is absolutely fantastic.
It's been a long, long plan, hasn't it, Bob McHale, to get here?
It's been probably 4 or 5 months in the making, yeah. And the idea was, when they first got in touch with me, was to come here fit, run the Geelong Cup and straight into the next 2 weeks.
Yes, McHale, a disciple of Alain, and just following the master's plans of last year.
Exactly. Why not?
And how do you rate him, Jeffrey? You've seen plenty of national horses. You've watched a lot come through the quarantine centres. How does he measure up to you?
Well, I just had lunch with Matt Chapman. He told me the French form is rubbish. So he clearly hasn't learnt much since I last seen him. Look, it's the best form going around in Europe. There's absolutely no doubt. And Jukebox Juries is going to make it very interesting here. He'll be far better suited to Flemington and the 2 miles, which is his best distance. So couldn't be happy.
Thoughts of the win, but to our eye, Shane, that was pretty good.
My word, it was. He's a major player, and I would say we're going to be victims of French invasions for a long time to come there, judging on what's...
Who was American last year? Good call. And he's going to get 3.5 kilos off American this year.
Took off a long way from home. It's a really good win.
Had to.
Oh, gee, exactly right. It was a very, very. And I must admit,
Bauer unlucky.
Bauer was outstanding. Will he make the cut?
He's about there.
I don't want to knock him. I think he's a player.
Yeah, I think Dunedin's mighty hard to beat.
Hurricane Dunedin Bauer.com.au.
Dunedin, the French striking again in the Geelong Cup. This horse described as a...
Well, the VRC Melbourne Cup, we're looking back on that. Dunedin's now got to do it. It's a completely different atmosphere come Cup Day, so that'll be another test of him.
Now, from a personal point of view, we see the grey horse out wide here in Bauer. He had no luck to the home turn. Have a look at his last sort of 80 metres. I've got him at the moment, Simon. I hate to tell you, but I've got him at about 27-28 in the order of entry. You're not guaranteed, obviously, you need horses to drop out in the next 6 days, but he is in excellent form.
You've got the numbers have got to fall his way. He needed to win on Wednesday.
I'm sorry, Simon, but if Bauer comes out and win the Melbourne Cup, it could set the race back 100 years. You know, a 9-year-old who's only had 3 runs in 3 years, a 9-year-old gelding winning the Melbourne Cup.
I think what you say, that might be
He
right
was
or wrong.
unlucky there, though.
He was a bit unlucky, but I think it highlights the attitude of the Europeans to their staying horses. And we're saying that Dunedin is a progressive horse. Now he's aged 6. Now, albeit that's altered a little bit by the fact that he's bred to Northern Time. So perhaps he's only a 5-year-old. But the Europeans take the attitude they don't start looking at stayers as being in their peak till they're 4, 5, 6, 7. Whereas a lot of our horses are absolutely cooked by the time they get to 4 and 5. And, I think that's
preparation for the Vars coming up this year. Mitchelton Wines, the naming sponsor of the Vars, of course, a final preparation for the Derby, where Manawinui is the favourite for this, and of course, his favourite for the Derby coming up next Saturday. And this race in the modern times has been the true benchmark for the Derby contenders. Amalfi, the smart missile and helmet, have had excuses, strolled around at the Stan Fox, $1.12, Lux right on the song. He's adaptable, big negative.
It's just a real little tank and presented beautifully.
Okay, it's got to $1.30 now on Super Tab. If you're keeping your eye on the Maxi Div punter.
And he jumps away well. Collar missed the start by about 1.5 lengths alongside of him. And away quickly is Power Breaker, immediately showing his hand, wanting the front ahead of Danichi, Shelto and Collar, who's improving now to be 4th. And Schofield just allows Manawinui to drift back, and he's second last down by the judge. And 2 lengths away is I Feel Good. So Power Breaker cuts the field out, and he slowed the tempo right down, Nash. So Hugh Bowman took off on Collar, and he whipped around the outside and goes to the lead. So it's now Collar at the 1,000 metres, a length in front of Power Breaker, and Danichi is 3rd. 2 lengths to Shelto, a length away is Manawinui. He's 1 away from the rail, only about 4 lengths off the leader as they go to the 800 turn, and 3 lengths away is I Feel Good. Now they make that turn at the 800 metres, and Collar the leader. Danichi is being hard ridden in 2nd placing. Power Breaker a length away 3rd. Manawinui given every possible hope. He's 4th on the outside, 3.5 off the leader, and Schofield just sits quietly still. Shelto's 2nd last, and I Feel Good. So Collar in front, coming up towards the bend now. He's about 2 lengths in front. Here comes Manawinui. The favourite's chasing him down. He's 2 lengths away, starting to wind up. Power Breaker under pressure, 3rd from Shelto. So Collar the leader. He's a length in front of Manawinui, so it's the 2 favourites clear from Power Breaker, Shelto. They're on the bend now, Collar by a half. Manawinui look to be travelling well, and now on the outside, Schofield says, let's go. Manawinui claims Collar, drew a length in front. It's going to be soft. He's coming away, Manawinui, and the Derby favourite scored by just over 2 lengths to Collar. A length away, Shelto. I Feel Good, Power Breaker, and a distant last, Danichi.
Well, pretty easy work in the end for the Derby favourite winning the Vars. A nice blowout for next Saturday. And they finished in racebook order. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. as brilliant ride by
Job done. That's what we expected. That's what he did. He's the favourite for the Derby. He'll be the horse they've got to beat. We'll look at the market shortly. Maxi did a low, slower than the Cox Plate, which they don't normally do the first half.
Yeah, a couple of things here. Look, ridden off the speed for the first time was significant. He certainly adapted to that well and relaxed well. Soft on the line, plenty to like, but only won it every bit as well as rekindled interest last year, leading into a Derby. He didn't quite stay, so he's not over the line in that yet.
He was beaten by the track last year. He's $2.
It proved worthwhile.
Oh, great tactic. They've had a good look at him now. They know he can settle. He bowed the head going out of the straight the first time. Now Schofield can just wait for the barrier, decide how he's going to ride him. He can ride him in front, he can ride him in third defence, he can ride him back 8th, 9th, 10th. He knows he can do it. He can adapt to a situation. He's got quality. He's a deserved Derby favourite and he'll be hard to beat. Although it's a whole new pain barrier. This is 2000, the whole new pain barrier getting to the 2600.
I think he'll improve out of this run because it doesn't matter.
Don't get out of Caviar even up in the air, and she's about to walk into the mounting out or amble, or she's just a beauty. Now have a look at the crowd around them. Now, sometimes racing's not about the punch. Unless you've had a bit of meat on it. Here's the prices. Let's have a look what's happening. $1.04 on Victor, $1.04 and $1. There you go. And it's a bit scarier behind Doubtful Jack now. She's starting a lot closer, but she gets slower the more she walks around.
Couldn't care less, could she? She just, look, I'm not here to walk, I'm here to run. Just take a good look at me, folks. This is like this. Now, I'm going to show you why I can't do any more than this. It doesn't go any lower than 105. So for that, read 103. Okay, punters, 103 she is. She's $1.
33 to 1 on. We're getting to Ajax territory here. Nick Caulfield
on track. 103. Bruce has just told you 900 grand bet with Sporting Bet on her at $1.05.
There's a big crowd down there. The scenes as she gets ready to race.
1200 for the Schweppes. Away they go. And Black Caviar jumps away okay. She's up second early with her stablemate showing the way. Doubtful Jack lands a length and a half. Black Caviar second, 2 lengths away, Scenic Blast. Heady Angels jump pretty well for him, and he's about a neck away, and he's running last of the 4. So they make their way towards the first turn, and out in front is Doubtful Jack. He shows the way by 2 lengths. Black Caviar idling along in second. Scenic Blast is a length and a half away. And Heady Angels a neck further back, last of the 4. So the Swepsfield comes down the side. Doubtful Jack, the leader, about a length in front of Black Caviar. A length and a half Scenic Blast on the inside. And Heady Angels staying in touch with them as they go by the school. Doubtful Jack, the leader. Nolan just slips the great mare a little bit more leather, and she gets up within a neck of the leader. Heady Angels cheekily got up a length and a half third, and Scenic Blast is last, but she takes over the running now, Black Caviar, and kicks away. This is the great acceleration we come to see. Into the straight she goes, and if you've come to see the greatest, here she is. Black Caviar opening up by about 5 or 6 lengths. 15 straight, she just keeps trotting them out, and she probably hasn't had many easier than that. Black Caviar won it by about 5 on the line. To Doubtful Jack, Heady Angels, and Scenic Blast stayed at the tail.
If that's 15, that's what the crowd came to see. It was always going to be easy, and she made it look easier than anyone perhaps would have thought. She makes it look so effortless when she just glides there. It's not about opposition here today. It's about performance. Or she probably could throw the cart and beat them anyway, but that's how good she's going. But it was easy work, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was. It looked that way on paper, but you always that little bit toey that things can go wrong. But Luke took no risks, and it's probably the best.
Oh, look, it's a little bit overwhelming, it's Cox Plate Day, and I don't know, she could nearly be the star of the show, and it's a very humbling experience to be part of it,
15 straight, she just keeps trotting them out, and she probably hasn't had many easier than that. Black Caviar won it by about 5 on the line. To Doubtful Jack, Heady Angels, and Scenic Blast.
They was going as good as they could behind, and they were a long way behind. 6 lengths. That equalled her biggest winning margin ever, 6 lengths. She did that the second start in a race. I'll tell you that she's won her 15 starts by 51.9 lengths. Average winning margin of 3.46 lengths. The only reason I'm saying that because I've got nothing else to tell you about it. Why not an interview, Peter? As well. Of course, we've got to remember she's undefeated, but if you look at the winning streaks here, where she's at, 15 yesterday. Now, of course, that put her alongside Carbine Burnborough. This is the undefeated. Now, she's got to get to 54. 54 for Kenskin.
I don't think she'll race that much. I think she'll be retired
if you just Google it up, Kenskin. It's a great story. Ended up winning races in England, but 54 undefeated. Was pride in the US, won 19. So we're going to get to 19 to make it fair. That's the worldwide tally. She actually equalled Poland's record yesterday. Remember Colin?
Colin?
Yeah. Undefeated. That's undefeated. Now, Frankel's on 9 at the moment, the supposed best horse in the world, and he probably is. On ratings, he is 22, but that was a quarter horse, Sava Jet, and also Miss Petty won the Queensland Outback. I mean, this is different sort of stuff. Now, when he's training, Pick in the Park used to win 2 races in a day. And the trainer got disqualified for getting a bit
Well, a lady asked me yesterday,
The only way you could see her getting beat was misfortune, and thankfully that didn't occur. But that's the bit that always worries me.
Never has the roar for a race on the undercard on Cox Plate Day been louder than the main event. But yesterday, Black Caviar had them standing in the grandstand even before she raced. They stood to attention to watch the champ in action. What more can be said?
Look, you're watching the best sprinter in the history of this country, and that in itself is something to savour. It's getting easier for her because the opposition's getting worse. Peter Moody's having to nominate a stablemate just so that if everything else drops out at acceptance time, they'll still run the race. Because if it ends up a one-horse race, they probably get perspective anyway. I'm a great supporter of her. I think she's enormous. Fantastic.
Well, she's an absolute champion.
Yeah.
A great call. Love the call, Greg Miles. What else can you say? Bring on the Patnack, and we
But how
can't
many
wait.
runners will there be there?
Well, I don't know.
You don't care.
Going to Royal Ascot.
But going to Royal Ascot proves nothing. And people are going to say, "Oh, she got beaten. Now she mightn't travel well. Whatever it is, beats her." She is the best sprinter in the world by channels.
If she was yours, would you be taking her overseas?
I've got no idea, Ronnie. I'd love to be in that situation. But what I don't like hearing is she has to do this to prove herself.
Oh,
She
no.
doesn't do anything
I
to
agree
prove
with that.
herself. She'll belt any comers up. You know, she is the up. You know, she is the best horse over 6 furlongs we'll ever see.
Well, she won't be travelling across any open.
They're the ones that could be in the mix to run up against her down the straight in the Patinack. If she comes through that, one run in Perth, and that'll be the winter bottom, a spell, and then being set towards Royal Ascot.
Okay.
Here's a market, though, for the Crystal Mile this year, sponsored by Drummond Golf. And there's a wide open market here. It's $5 over 1,200 metres.
$5.50, now into $4.80. He is your new favourite, and the sporting bet market mover here for race 7. He's remarkable, the New Zealander.
I'll be those Pommy owners, and that'll be. Sorry, here's Jerry Walsh again.
40, Rich. 440.
Thank you, Jerry. Sporting bet. Go to the app store. Just put in sporting bet.
Racing, and the Crystal Mile field jumped away okay. Blackie out the back early. Hawke's Bay and Test of My Patience jumped away well. He's remarkable. Looks like posing about the middle of the field. Gingadood is showing a bit of speed, and Triple Elegance isn't far away from them as they settle down. And it's Hawke's Bay going on up towards the 1,200 metres. And the Darwin Cup winner runs to the lead into the back, a length and a half clear. Gingadood second. Triple Elegance is third. The inside, and Test of My Patience is up there fourth. A length and a half. Happy Trails Playwright. They're followed then by He's Remarkable, about 9 lengths away from the leader, followed by Danley. Luniet Forever made a hash of that bottom corner. He was racing very erratically. He's now back fourth last over on the inside, followed by Silver Grecian and 2 lengths Dow and Blackie. So it looks truly run. Hawke's Bay at the 800 metres, a length in front of Gingadood. Triple Elegance third over on the inside. Test of My Patience a neck away fourth, and 2 lengths behind these Happy Trails Playwright. And then He's Remarkable, 7 lengths off the leader down the side at the 700. Followed Luniat Forever, tucked away on the inside from Dan Lee, Dow, Silver Grecian and Blackie. Hawke's Bay the leader, a neck in front of Gingadood. Test of My Patience running on into third. Triple Elegance has to wait on a run. They're followed by Happy Trails. Here comes He's Remarkable, starting his move round the outside, and then a gap to Luniat Forever and Dan Lee. Hawke's Bay still had the lead. Test of My Patience running after him. 2 lengths clear from He's Remarkable. Test of My Patience race to Hawke's Bay. 100 left to go. Test of My Patience now starts to draw away from Hawke's Bay. He sticks on well, but Test of My Patience beat Hawke's Bay by a length. 2.5 lengths away, third a photo. He's Remarkable's up there with Gingadood the Rail and Happy Trails. 3 across the track, clear of Triple Elegance, Luniat Forever.
And a Test of My Patience got out the 570 and the 210. Better odds with some of the bookies. The Blackers on. We're taking a break. Next time.
Yeah, with Gingerton, the Rockland Happy Trails.
Mick Price won out there with the blinkers. Even Craig was surprised that Mick went for him, but Mick knows best. And he was.
Want to level up. A couple of the jockeys following that race went to the stewards and said they were getting hit with mud from the tracking vehicle on the inside of the track.
Nice touch.
That's actually, well, I love that idea because it's a first.
It's always travelling like the winner. It was a funny race. It ended up a real on-pace domination, yet the leader ran along. So it was strange. It was one of the races that nothing made ground from the back. The Darwin Cup winner, Hawke's Bay. How good was he? Don't know whether I can trust that form, but it's hard to deny him. He did all the donkey work and he really rallied at the finish there.
Moonee Valley Cup. Total League at the Melbourne Cup favourite too. You've seen Manawanui Derby favourite, you've seen the Superstar Black Caviar. Now you've got the Cup winner of last year and American, $3 on the toe. Let's get stuck into the yard here because we're running a touch late after that proposal. American, there is no better weighted horse running on the card here today. Just on that. Those horses against Black Caviar had to give it 2 kicks. So strange. Weights and penalties. Have a look at this. Is one of the most magnificent horses you will see. If he's not Sammy's top pick from the yard, must be a good sort in there.
Okay. Concussion plates go A negative because he's a big drifter here on track. It's his first time to Moonee Valley. It mightn't be as crucial today that he blitzes this field. So, look, I think it's going to be very hard to beat that here.
Tullamore.
Yep, number 4, Tullamore. And it reads all for Tullamore. All.
Was it? Did I just see that?
Yeah.
This is, well, a former Moonee Valley Cup. It's the Drake International Cup, the Group 2. Here's Greg Miles.
Now Elo moved into the game. And American got a nice sort of getaway down in gate number 3. Steadies up in the early part in Tullamore. As they said, he's bounced out well and he's up with a share of the lead early in company with Lala Rook and Pat Rowley, who's pushing through along the inside. Elo was there as well in the red cap. Just off them is Pagola, followed by Harris Tweed, and then American settling back on the rails. Tuling Shawad and Swooper together, and another one is at the tail as they swing the corner on the first occasion. And there's 4 across the track here. Paddy O'Reilly, Lala Rook, Elo out wider, and Pagola posted right off the course is 4 deep. Just in behind them, Tullamore, he's allowing that quartet to go, and American gets a lovely slide along the rails. 3 lengths further away now towards the 1,200-metre turn, and Lala Rook the leader. She's almost a length in front of Pagola, who's worked very hard. 2 lengths away is Elo, and on the rails is Paddy O'Reilly. A length and a half to Tullamore, who's covering up American, the favourite. So they're together. Then there's 2 lengths to Harris, Tweed and Swooper. Shawan second last, and with 1,000 metres to go, Anudjuan brings up the rear on the fence. So Lala Rook the leader for Clear Lindop. Pagola running second as they're about to go to the 800 turn. Paddy O'Reilly third on the inside, 3/4 to Elo. On the rails in 5th placing American, and on his outside a neck away Tullamore. 2 lengths behind these horses, Swooper on the fence, and then Harris Tweed and Anudjuan, and now Shawanna's back last of all. 7 lengths covered them, and Pagola momentarily took the lead, and Elo's on the scene. Lala Rook back behind them, followed by Tullamore and Paddy O'Reilly. Now Mosse is starting to get to work on American. He's come away from the fence, but he's being ridden along as they sweep up towards the turn where Elo goes to the lead. Tullamore half length away from Paddy O'Reilly. Shawan from the back of the field runs on. American gets clear and he's coming home. It's Elo tackled by Tullamore, and now a length away American poised and is about to let down into the straight now, and American raced up to Tullamore and Elo. American takes the lead, the cup winner drawing away. He's back in a beautiful style, and American won the Moonee Valley Cup by 2 lengths. Tullamore second, Elo ran third, and Nudgewood and Shawan in a photo next. Followed in behind those horses by Harris Tweed, and further back was Paddy O'Reilly. And then Swooper and Pagola. Lala Rook is last. Boy, how good was that?
Fantastic. Was weighted to win. Took some riding from Mosse to get him into clear gaping room, which he needs. But that's the perfect blowout for defence of the title on the first Tuesday in November. Tullamore good, the Esher Caulfield Cup form again. And Ilo, outstanding first run in Australia for Bart. I'm sure there's a lot left in the tank there with Ilo. And the 3...
Made a strip there when you were on him. You would have been powered away at the finish. He is a superstar stayer, and well, I think whatever.
Sorry about the traffic in the race because he was near the rails, but he is back.
Is he any different? Definitely.
Fabulous looking animal, yeah, and the Maxi did well with the 350, the SP matched by the tax dividend.
It was brilliant yesterday once he levelled out stretched out beautifully to the line. Okay, he's going to meet Ilo 3.5 worse in the Melbourne Cup, Tullamore 5.5 worse. There's your Caulfield Cup form, and Ilo with much improvement to come from him. But he just looked great, didn't he?
Unbelievable. He was a great draw card for the Mini Valley Cup, Mini Valley Club on top of the Cox Plate and on Black Caviar. But wow, to do what he did, he looked still like the run was going to do in the world of good. He looked big in condition. To lose your momentum, have to squeeze through, and then pick him up in 2 bounds.
Look at him how he finds the line.
He was awesome.
First run since the Kerguelen, which is a great form race now.
2 in a row, but I think Zinedine the other day, and obviously meets it better at the weights. It may well be his danger. I doubt the Cup staying here.
Tullamore is just about there, and in my dropout list, it's just about there for
And deservedly so. He's going to be. He's a realistic knockout chance, Tullamore.
France, Germany, UK, ex-New Zealand, ex-UK, UK. We'll get one soon. But that's the market's right. And on form, that's the market.
Oh, most definitely.
That's that way. Yeah. American, G was in a different class.
Sorry. UK. There's one, Shamrock is going terribly and running. Manigat, UK, ex-USA, now part Australian owned, ex-UK, Godolphin. Precedents, but I thought Ilo, put him upside with Ilo yesterday.
Yeah, well, but it's been funny since.
It was a good win, and next week we're quite relieved to know that one, we're going to be there, because if he'd gone badly yesterday, then maybe there was something wrong. He looks good there, and we're excited about next week.
I reckon you fellas would be excited the way he handles his racing style, the way he was hemmed in pockets there and fought his way out of trouble. And when he saw daylight, he showed the acceleration like he did last year. He looks way on track, doesn't he?
Yes, he is. Flemington certainly will suit him better than Moonee Valley. As Gerald's always said, the horse has got gears, and he knows which gear to put into, and he just gave a little trickle up before about the 150 metre, and hopefully he can do it again on Cup Day.
Jerry, Gerald said after the race that he was happy that they'd had a shower of rain during the morning and that the track was a little bit softer. He said he prefers it a little bit soft. Are there any issues for you about the grading of the Flemington track for the Cup?
No, I think that, there is some forecast for some rain, just take a sting out of the ground, but I'm sure he's going to handle both conditions.
Can one of you fellas explain?
I think he's way under the odds in good value.
Neil Callan, right? Neil Callan, right? Let's see.
Look, if the track's soft, it'll suit American. If the track's firm, it'll suit Jukebox Jerry.
In a row, but the story here for the Tats Cox Plate is going to be the weather conditions. There is a bad storm about 20 minutes away from the centre of Melbourne. The Cox Plate is 21 minutes away. It's going to be touch and go here. You can see from above. They always thought that 25 years ago, this day, this track, the race of the century when Waverley Star and Bone Crusher, our Waverley Star and Bone Crusher raced into equine immortality. Well, Bone Crusher did when he was telling us that Helmet has been sensationally backed to win this race. It's been $3.50 to $3 with Sporting Bet Australia, and they are hammered with it here. There's a look at the tote market for this, and you can see on the tote there 380, 340, and 290. Still, as you can see, 18 minutes to go until the Cox Plate.
How horse he is, and just forget all about his Sydney form. Not that that's ordinary, but his 2 Melbourne runs have been absolutely dominant. We've seen horses come.
Now with those tactics on Lion Tamer being advised, you'd have Lion Tamer, Glass Harmonium, and Helmet all pressing forward. That first corner is going to be pretty tricky.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, yeah, it's probably dark out there.
The grandstand lights are on anyway, not the ones right around the track. But
now there's the weather now. We saw it. You could see clearly before. Now you can't see. That's how low
Isn't it? I can see clearly now. That's
this has been as good a go as you've seen at Cox Plate.
Well, I just saw Glass Harmonium getting a little bit towed behind it, the hood on them. The blind.
Glass Harmonium getting very, very fractious. They're set. Glass Harmonium half rearing. Ready. Set to go. They're off. Glass Harmonium missed it. Wall Street about a length slow also. Helmet away very, very fast. Lion Tamer began quickly. Down on the inside, King's Rose, Sincero. Jimmy Shue got away well. Helmet crosses over, finds the lead. Lion Tamer goes with him with a lap to go. Then King's Rose right on the back of the leader. Going up Ava Innes and Jimmy Shue. He's a handy fifth turning out of the straight. And the favourite retaining the lead. Followed by Sincero, Rekindled Interest. 2 lengths further back is Pinker Pinker, Sham Rocker, and then Efficient. Glass Harmonium well back in the field, followed by Playing God, and then Secret Admirer, and 2 lengths to Wall Street. At the 1400 metres, and Helmet Made play a length in front of Lion Tamer. King's Rose box eating third, Jimmy Shue fourth, beautifully positioned, a length and a half further back, Ava Innes. 2 lengths Rekindled Interest on the inside, and then came Sincero as they go to the back. 2.5 lengths further back in the field is Shamrock at the inside of Pinker Pinker. 1 to Efficient, followed by Glass Harmonium, and then came Playing God. Second last is Wall Street, and Secret Admirer brings up the rear. 900 left to go, and Helmet uncontested in front, led by a length. Second is Lion Tamer. Over on the inside, King's Rose, Jimmy Shue a half length away fourth. 2 lengths to Arvienus fifth, and then Rekindled Interest Sincero. Efficient over on the outside as they come around the 800 turn. Playing God trying to follow him home. Then Sham Rocker, followed by Pinker Pinker, Secret Admirer. Wall Street and Glass Harmonium at the 600 metres now, and Lion Tamer, and he goes up and he puts pressure on Helmet, and they go together. From Jimmy Shue third, King's Rose waiting on a run. Around them now, Efficient, Rekindled Interest putting in his run, and they're followed by Pinker Pinker getting up on the fence, and then Playing God. Around the turn, Lion Tamer gone. Jimmy Shue's raced up to Helmet. Pinker Pinker getting into the clear. Jimmy Shue, the leader, into the straight from Helmet. Then Pinker Pinker, Rekindled Interest. Jimmy Shue in front. Pinker Pinker coming down the outside. It's Jimmy Shue tackled by Pinker Pinker. Pinker Pinker's taken the lead. Pinker Pinker in front, and she won it. Pinker Pinker won the Cox Plate from Jimmy Shue and Rekindled Interest. Close up is Secret Admirer, who got home, followed by Wall Street, King's Rose. Helmet weakened in the run home, followed by Efficient, and then Sincero, Playing God. Back behind those to finish Ava Innes, Lion Tamer and Glass Harmonium towards the end, and Shamrocker is last.
What more can Craig Williams do in this spring carnival? He produces a gem right here on Pinker Pinker to deliver a knockout blow. And Pinker Pinker gives Greg Urell his first Cox Plate. Craig Williams his second. A brave Jimmy Shue and a brave Rekindled. It was run at super speed here, 253. They went through 2 seconds faster the first 240 than the Vars. There was nothing left standing out on the track, and the best horse on the day was Greg Urell's Pinker Pinker. It means money in Malaysia, and they've got the big prize here in the Tats Cox Plate, 11. 5. Plenty of great moments in racing, a lot of those with a patchy cap. I'm sure this is a little bit different winning a first.
Bruce, it's hard to absorb at the moment. Yeah, it's really got to me. So great experience.
It's a great experience watching it. What was it like? Take us through your emotions watching the race.
Yeah, look, we spoke to Craig yesterday afternoon, and typically as Craig is, he had it worked out to the minute what we'd like to do, and went through the whole race, and he was very confident, and I was very, very happy the way that she led into this mare, and all the way through. You always have little hiccups that create a problem, and you don't like to see on the way, but she just had nothing go wrong. She just led into this absolutely perfect, and Craig come down Tuesday morning and rode her, and she worked terrific Tuesday morning, and yeah, everything just balanced out very well.
We've had her since day one, buying at 120,000. Well done, Greg.
Thank you very much.
Greg Urell, winning trainer, and this delivers again. What a special ride.
What a week. Caulfield Cup, Geelong Cup, and Cox Plate in the space of 7 days, Sammy. That's what every jockey dreams of, isn't it?
Yeah, relax, and we got into a nice position. When a run presented itself, I asked it to be a really tough game, and I didn't even have to close my eyes. She just gritted her teeth and bared it, and she was awesome today.
You won before on an old timer to come out and do it again, and as I say, you're in the best of form. What's it like?
Oh, it's fantastic, and you'll be happy, Bruce. I don't have to Chris your lens cameras. My wife's here, so is my mum and dad, so I get to save it, and it's nothing better. Look, this crowd's fantastic. This is the time of year.
Your interim dividends for Inglis on the 2011 Cox Plate. Pinker Pinker wins it from Jimmy Shue and Rekindle Interest. It looks like
comfortable with that. You thought just being in the race, but to actually achieve the ultimate result, Yeah, it's certainly the pinnacle.
At one stage during the week, you read in the press that you mightn't, the committee's going to decide whether you should be there or not. I find that staggering, but I suppose you've got to put up with that.
Yeah, it was hard to sort of absorb it all in the fact that a lot of races you have a pretty clear understanding of where you're going to be, whether you think you'll get a run or whether you don't, and we were definitely on the fringe, and to build up to
chance going into the race yesterday. What did
Absolute textbook from Williams. Brilliant. Outstanding. You'll have the mare to do it. She was good enough on the day. Jimmy Chu brave every possible for Jimmy and rekindled interest. D Dunn got out and going, and from the track gallop on Tuesday, they've turned it around on that. But we'll talk about the Beaten Brigade shortly. But you watch it again, Greg, and soak up the thought process going through Williams' head there. It's just tactically masterful, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. No, it couldn't have been scripted any better, Bruce. He did it for the moment.
We can give the rider all the credit in the world, and so we should for that. But the mare still has to be good enough, Greg. No matter what the ride is, she still has to be good enough to win it.
Well, that's true. I mean, yeah, it's you're only as good as what you can jump on, and fortunately, she enabled us to be able to do that with her to get her as fit as we could get her, and I think one of the huge bonuses with her is that she comes out of every run brilliantly. So we don't have to sort of play patch up and.
You better give yourself something. You're just trying to cook plate. You couldn't get a patchy cat. I know you couldn't get him to run 2040, but you're just trying to cox play with it. When she first came to your stables, when you first saw it, you I've always hoped they're going to be good horses, but when you first started working with it, did you ever think that she'd get to a level like this?
No, I didn't, Bruce. She was always showing above average ability, and
yeah, it's a scary feeling that hitting in the front, knowing you've still got a bit of a horse underneath you, but knowing that there's going to be something coming at you. And to my horse's credit, he didn't balk at the crowd or have anything like that. He went to the line. I thought Helmet might have carried me into the race a bit more, but I don't know.
Yeah. Perfect run, did you?
I had a lovely run. Used them up a little bit early, but that's the beauty with Jimmy. You can use them up, and once you drop your hands, and yeah, I was purring, laughing.
Beaten by a better horse on the day.
Probably the better run of the day, really. I wouldn't say the better horse. Match him up again. I think we hit him.
Yeah, I just got outside of King's Rose. She wanted to, obviously, Luke Nolan wanted to get away from the inside as well. Sort of bumped me into Efficient and sort of held me up for 50 yards, and that's probably allowed the winner to get up inside and make his run. I had a great run before that. If I had been able to get nice and smooth through there, I'm sure he'd been hard to beat.
Oh, she ran well, Bruce. They ran along genuine enough. Got on the back of I think playing goal to the corner, and I was travelling quite well, but just got a little bit off balance around the corner. First time around the valley. I think she's better off, back at home around Randwick, with those big straights. And but first right 2000, she kept hitting the line. Only got beat 2, but she did a good job. Only 9 starts she's had now, but I'm sure this prep will make her bigger and stronger for next time in.
Yeah, Bruce, look, he ran really good. We served it up to him early and put him in the race. We're quite keen to sort of get involved from the half mile onwards. And look, he did his part. A bit of a bump and jewel on the turn, but in saying that, I was sort of pretty much at my top anyway. It was a really good effort.
Yeah, it did. We the last horse was about to go in, so we pulled the blindfold off, and then somehow Wall Street escaped out the back, so it caused a bit of a delay and a ruckus, and he started to get agitated in the gates, and consequently he was on the back foot and missed it a little bit, and sort of didn't help his chances from then. He's a horse that likes to race up on the speed and keep going. He got further back than we would have liked, and he just didn't give him his best chance by not being able to race on the pace.
Oh, look, he got back and he had a nice run following Efficient into the race. He probably just found it a little bit tough at the end.
You've always said that to Shane Templeton that Hamilton ran the 2040, and Luke Nolan said to everyone, I stuffed up. You can change the word stuffed into whatever. Forgive me. But
9 out of 10 times. Craig Williams, what can you say? He rode the script in the Caulfield Cup. He dead set wrote his own there yesterday. It was one of the best rides I've seen in years. An absolute.
Now Efficient rekindled interest putting in his run. And they're followed by Picker getting up on the fence, and then Playing God. Around the turn, Lion Tamer gone. Jimmy Shoes raced up to Helmet. Picker getting into the clear. Jimmy Shoe, the leader, into the straight from Helmet. Then Picker rekindled interest. Jimmy Shoe in front. Picker coming down the outside. It's Jimmy Shoe tackled by Picker. Picker's taken the lead. Picker in front, and she won it. Picker won the Cox Plate from Jimmy Shoe and rekindled.
Under a magnificent ride by Craig Williams, the mare Pinker winning yesterday's $3 million Cox Plate. Mare by
Is it where you wanted it to be? Was there a moment, probably I go back to the Epsom over the mile, I'm not going to say she raced flat. Was she looking for a bit further then? And did that give you a bit of a twinkle in your eye that the Cox Plate could be the right race for her?
Yeah, you're right, Simon. The run up there, it was interesting. She probably didn't sprint as quick as what she did yesterday at getting to the line, and we ground away a little bit more. Not being critical of the ride, but she was probably a little bit closer over the mile up there that day. But I think exactly that. As she come out of that run, you'd say, well, step over the tooth there. That's really where we need to be heading.
How did she recover?
Part of the straight, trainer John Barry thought he might have been living the dream with Jimmy Choo.
Yeah, certainly, Joe. Jonathan Riddell can take a bow. He drew an awkward draw there, one out, one back. He bloomed at the right time. Helmet stopped a little bit quicker than what he may have liked, but he'd given it every opportunity to win. He was just beaten by a freakish ride by Craig Williams. Rekindled Interest got buffeted in the run there. Wall Street's run the race of his life. Luke Nolan made a took a terrible option there at the 600 metre mark, and I think he knows what he did wrong, and she should have figured in the finish there.
Kings Rose, I know Luke went to go to the outside and ran into a dead end, but you know what? 9 out of 10 times going to the outside is the right move. So I can't blame him for that. Jimmy Choo, I think I think they can count themselves perhaps a little unlucky, well, not to win perhaps, but to finish maybe even closer. I don't know. But he was the only horse that raced with the leaders who finished in the first 6. Everything else came from the back. And I know the times don't actually reflect that it was a fast run race, but it certainly shaped that way. The horses from the back did come through. And I think Jimmy Choo's run was full of merit. Rekindle Interest, as you say, a good run. And behind that, I thought from a future point of view, Older Fisher very well,
hasn't he? He's still got upside.
Very well.
And Secret Admirer done her connections proud there, and we have to press on Line Tamer. It's terrible for connections there to think that he got put down after that race.
Broke down shortly after crossing the line, and very sadly there broke his leg. A terrible situation there, and devastating for all of those involved with the horse, including Huey Bowman, who I believe was cradling the horse when they had to euthanize him. So that's very sad. Now, we better talk about the favourite, Helmet. The 3-year-old, he got a pretty soft lead from his barrier early. It's a matter of not running out the trip.
I don't know that it was as soft as it looked. At times I'll say it was a reasonably soft lead, but I reckon he did a bit of work.
Yeah, well, he's a horse that can do a bit of work. He proved that in the Guineas. He's proved that all the way through his career.
3-year-olds,
yeah,
maybe not against.
I just think it comes down. He didn't stay. His pedigree says he's not a stayer, and it's a whole from the mile to the 2000. It's a whole new pain barrier. I'd suggest Darley will just keep him to a mile and under from here on in.
Could be right.
Okay, Andrew.
Darley will just keep him to a mile and under from here on in.
Could be right.
Okay, Andrew.